Hello. Hi. How are you? I am wonderful. Thank you. How are you? Do I have a pimple? Oh. Good. Thank you. I've had this shirt for years. I can't even remember where I got it from. But thank you. Hi, Angie. How are y'all? You can hear the crickets. Hello. Me too. I did. I made it last night. I think it was last night I made it. It was so good. I did add a couple of, like, I did use the celery and I added a little bit more milk and cream and I added a little bit of broth. It was so good. Hi, Shelly. Thank you. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, Cocoa Puff. Hello, Lady Stone, Jen, Chastity. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, it was so good. I love corn chowder. I have another recipe somewhere, but I wanted to make your recipe. But I can't stick to a recipe. I have to like always make it my own. I was just telling you. Hey, I did add garlic to it too, and oh man. My hair is a frizz ball. I've been out all day. I had a great day. I went out and about and hung out with the family and did a little shopping and yeah, it was fun. Yeah, sometimes I do it with potatoes or chicken. Yep. Oh, thank you, Stacy. I appreciate anybody who stands up for me, but at the same time, there's no convincing people. You're always going to have people in life that want to lie about you, that want to talk shit about you, that want to misunderstand you, and sometimes you just have to let them, you know? When you know your heart and you know your intentions and you know your truth, you don't have to convince anybody. You don't need to spend your time convincing anyone. So, but I do appreciate it. I do. I appreciate anyone who stands up for me and the mods and in this group. Yeah, I'm tired of it too, but just block and ignore. The more attention that they get, the more they're going to do it. And the more people who block them and not even entertain it, they'll shut up. So that's right, boss lady. I love y'all too. Yeah, exactly. And we can, Crampin. We can. The best way that we can move on is to block all of those people and to not watch it, not entertain it. Don't defend anyone. Don't go in there. Don't watch. Don't, none of it. Just let them. It's the best thing that you can do. I know it's difficult when you know the truth and you want so bad for people to understand the truth, but you just have to let them, because they've that fuels the fire for them. It gives them what they're looking for. 111 in the chat right now, which proves a lot and means a lot. So that's true though, Chastity. Let them. They thrive off of it, and you just gotta move on. There's no reasoning with people like that. I pray for their healing. Just like Micah said, I pray for their healing, and I hope that they find whatever it is that's missing in their life, that they feel the need to tear other people down. So it is what it is, you know. I am doing wonderful. Thank you, Angie. I hope your team wins. Nobody's come to my door. No cops are coming to my house. That's insane. That's silly. Silly, I'll tell you. It is getting long. Like, holy moly. It's frizzy. I've been out in the heat and humidity all day. It's a mess, but frizzy. I've been out in the heat and humidity all day. It's a mess, but yeah, I mean, I think it would be pretty dumb of us to report someone to the FBI, for the FBI to investigate something if we had something to do with it. I mean, that's silly. Like, yeah, I did hear that Simplify is my husband, but no, my husband, he don't have nothing to do with any of this. He just listens to me when I tell him anything. No, ain't no cops coming to my house. Mm-mm. I've not done anything illegal, so. Right? My husband has a woman's voice. That's funny. Yeah. Your husband had a soft voice. Ah, that's funny. One and the same, Leslie. One and the same. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Something about a speaker. I don't know what the hell he's trying to do. I don't know. why. Who knows? Thank you, Crampon. I appreciate that. I don't know. Do you have to have a permit for that? I don't know. I mean, you would think so. I went out and about shopping and gallivanting around the town, you know. Took my little one to a playground where he played and played and played until his little cheeks were red and hello. How are you? Absolutely not, Agatha. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Just because someone used my name and my platform to commit their crime, that doesn't, I'm not held accountable. Mm-mm. If I had involvement in the money and I took the money, then, I mean, yeah, but no. Mm-mm. And I have every bit of proof that I need to prove all of that, so, yeah. Mm-mm. I believed her too. I would have never, I never would have imagined that someone could do something like this. I would have never, ever could imagine that someone could lie and manipulate and steal. I could have never. I'm still struggling. Like, I'm still struggling to process it all. You can say whatever you want, Agatha. Absolutely. This is a safe place for you to voice your hurt and your pain and your frustration and your whatever. Yeah, it was definitely a lot. No, I've not spoken to her at all. Mm-mm. What do you mean, so Sue was the issue? What? Can you reword that question so I can answer it the best I can? Davina, that's kind of where we started to question it too. I don't believe so, Crampon. In my honest opinion, no. I've been lied to about so many things that no, I don't believe that. Mm-mm, I don't. Sue, yeah. I mean, problem, Sue's the one who had the ideas for the fundraiser. Sue used me and the mods and my platform as a way to advertise for her doing the fundraiser. And every single penny and every single person who sent money or donated money or paid for any items sent money directly to Sue, and no one else had any involvement in that. Um, it's hard to. Wendy said, "Do you think she planned it from the start?" It's hard to not believe that, looking back now. I know she said that she didn't, but with everything that we know and looking back at all the lies, it's hard not to believe that. Lucy, she didn't just ask for donations for a lawyer, she asked for donations for many things. And got those donations. I gotta take this in so I can. Well, I guess I can wait just a few more minutes so that I can. Yes, yes, those were. Well, okay, so she asked for donations for security cameras. Hold on, sweetheart. Hold on, sweetheart. For security cameras for me, for protection. And I didn't even know this was going on. I remember someone came to my door one day and I got scared, and I remember her saying, "Oh, I've got some security cameras at home that I can send you." And then I never heard anything else really about it until there was starting a bunch of talk about items and things that had not been delivered. And then there started to become drama about the cameras. And I think someone said that she said on a live somewhere that they were delivered and they never were given to me. And after everything that we found out, she had requested money from people, and I had no idea, had no clue. And when we picked up the box of items last week because she was supposed to go in rehab, so we wanted to do what we could to make sure that people got their items. So we sent someone to her house to pick up a box of items. The box that was supposed to have my cameras was a $49 security system that had no cameras and only worked on sensors, when a lot of money had been sent for that. Yeah, so yes, she asked for money. She said that she had a lawyer and that she needed $7,000. She owed him $7,000 for a retainer fee and for fees for what she had already had him do. And some of the mods sent her money for that. Come to find out, she had no lawyer. I didn't know that they had done that. Pinesy, I never knew about the camera, that anybody had really donated for cameras until all of the drama started and people were asking. And at that point, I realized people donated money. And at that point, yeah, I questioned it, but she was like, "Oh, well, I got them. I've been so busy in the hurricane and all this and blah, blah, blah." She's like, "I just haven't been able to get them to you." And all the excuses she made, I just was trying to be a compassionate person and try not to. What was the point behind the fake girlfriend? I will never know. I will never know. I don't know why anyone would do that. She told us about her fake girlfriend from the very get-go. I'm sure we can find out the total amount, but right now I don't. She went to, okay, so the girlfriend was a adult entertainer, a very well-known adult entertainer, and she went to adult entertainment conventions and took pictures with her there, paid for photos. We never donated $7,000 for the lawyer, but a few people, I'm not sure exactly how much they donated, but we didn't donate $7,000. That's just what she told us that she owed the lawyer. Yes, Michelle. Yes, that's what she spent the money on. I have not, no, because when all of the stuff with the fundraising came about, I got Sue in contact with one of the family members and had her deal with Sue because I didn't have any involvement in it. And Michael was not a part of that. So when we did tell the family, we reached out to the family member that we had her be in contact with about it. I don't think so, Cocoa Puff. I did have Abel reached out to me last night and was apologizing to me and said that he believed us and that he's so sorry for what we had to go through and was very kind about it. I don't believe so either, Crampin. I don't. No, I've not spoken to her, Krista. No. Mm-mm. I'm surprised that she did as well, but this is my opinion. I think at this point she was willing to do anything that she could to try and save herself, if that makes sense. No, I had never met Sue, never known Sue before the mic. I didn't know anyone on here. None of the mods, none of any of y'all. I didn't know anyone before all of this. No, I do not. JDJ. No. Mm-mm. Nope. I have spoken to law enforcement and I have spoken to lawyers, and no, I will not be held accountable or anything for anything that Sue did. Not only do we have the recording of last night's live, but we have recordings of when she got caught and admitted to it all. I didn't personally know Micah, my husband did. Yes. There's no proof we were linked. I never knew Sue. And to be honest, I didn't even know her throughout this. I could press charges, but I mean, I'm not worried about spending my time or money on other people's ignorance. No, you're fine. I understand everyone has a lot of questions, and I'm more than willing to answer anything that I can. It was a group. I'll kind of tell y'all about how we caught her. I'm going to get my charger because my phone's about to die. I'm going to get my charger real quick, and I'll kind of go over that. Excuse me, kitty cat. Okay, let me plug this in. And I'll fill y'all in on that. So I had there were red flags all along, to different things that had been, like, I had kind of started catching on to one thing would be said one day, and then it was like the next day or a few days later, something different had been said. So I had caught on to a little bit of like what's going on, and I didn't know whether, it was in my head or like I was crazy or whatever. Hold on, let me shut this door so y'all can hear me. And there was the first drama that had come out about the money in the fundraiser. People were asking, has the money been sent to the family? Has the money been sent to the family? And she used the fact that the nonprofit had not been set up. She used that as her excuse as to why the money hadn't been sent. Well, I questioned multiple times. I'm like, well, why can't you just cut a check? Why can't you just, isn't there another way we can send her what we already have? And she kept making excuses like, no, because if we send it, through GoFundMe or we send it through another way, then they're going to get taxed on it or the fees on it or something. So she always had an excuse for everything. And like I said, there were certain red flags for a month now, I would say. And then it wasn't just me that was having these thoughts, but I didn't mention it to anyone. Well, while I was having questions, other people were having questions. And then it started to become, well, I reached out to another mod, and then there were side conversations that were happening where we were all kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Something's not right here. Something's off. And everybody, like, we were getting messages about people that hadn't gotten their items, and like and every time we would ask her, she would get mad at the people and she would make all these excuses, and she would be like, she would lie to us. She would either give us fake tracking numbers or she would say, well, I already sent that. They already got that item. They're lying. It was always an excuse, and it was always pointed back at the people. And it was always like, oh, well, oh, I forgot that. I'm going to ship it out tomorrow. Oh, I thought I sent that. It was always an excuse. So once I caught on to like something's not right, and all the mods, we decided we made a whole nother chat without her, and we started voicing our concerns. And we were like, okay, something's not right. We need to contact her and we need to find out. So at that point, we kept pressing her. All along, though, we kept asking for information. Like, do you have this? Do you have that? Like, what's going on? Like, do you have a spreadsheet of everything? Is there stuff we can do to help you? What's going on? Made excuses. Well, finally, we all had a side chat, and we were all like, something's off. Something's going on. And so we did a video chat with her, and we started pressing for information. The entire time on the call, she was making excuses and would say one thing in one moment and something else another. And at this point, we had already been told that a check was sent. This is why I told people that the money was sent. Another mod had posted, she told us everything was shipped. So another mod had posted a video saying everything had been shipped. We were lied to. We were completely lied to the entire time. And we took her word for it. But anyways, we finally were on a call with her, and we were like, okay, well, she told us that one day that there was tracking number, and then like she said that her accountant sent it, and that her accountant was sending a certified check, and blah blah blah. And we were like, well, why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you just electronically send it? And like, it was just all of this bullshit. And then we were like, okay, well, that night when we got on the call, we're like, okay, well, can you send us some kind of proof about this? Because we are not, like, I hope you can understand why we're questioning this. I hope you understand, blah, blah, blah. It took her forever to finally get on to she had to go upstairs, and then it was this excuse and that excuse, this excuse. And it was like, okay, well, we need you to show us proof right now. And then she's like, well, I deleted the emails. She got very defensive. Oh, why? We're like, well, why would you delete the emails? And we were like, okay, so the family knows that this check has been sent. She said at one point, oh, well, the check got bounced back and they attempted to deliver. And we're like, okay, well, so you told the family that the check had tried to be delivered? Like, wouldn't you have contacted the family and said the check is supposed to be here at such and such date, make sure you're there? And she was like, oh, I didn't think about that. And we were like, huh? And then we were like, well, she said it was in Jacksonville, and there was so many lies and so many excuses. And that night on the phone, she tried to use her child to make it seem like she was busy, and like it was just a bunch of crap. And then finally we were like, Sue, get on the computer and screenshot and show us that this has been sent. Oh, well, I deleted the emails. And she's like, oh, but I do have an email where I told her that to send the check. And we're like, okay, we'll send it. We waited and waited and waited and waited on the call. And then finally she sends an email. Well, the email's cropped. You can only see part of it. And we're like, okay, where's the date on it? Several minutes go by. She's like, oh, I don't know how to find the date. How do I find the date? We're like, how do you not know how to find a date on an email? What are you talking about? And she's like, oh, I how do I do it? And then Bethany tells her how to do it. And then a few minutes later, she sends an email, a screenshot of an email. Well, that email said, what was the date that it said, y'all? September 12th, but what didn't it say? Sunday, September 12th? And we were like, hold up. Y'all, look it up. September 12th was a Thursday. And at this point, we had gotten off the phone with her because we were like, okay, well, she sent us proof that this check was, that she asked her accountant to send off this check. And we were like, holy shit. September 12th was a Thursday. And then I was like, well, we're getting back on a call because she's clearly fabricated this email. So we get back on a call and I said, Sue, why does this picture say Saturday or Sunday, September 12th? She said, because I did it. I said, what do you mean you did it? I said, you fabricated this email? Yes. We were like, what? What the fuck? So at that point, that started the snowball of, well, so the check's not been sent. And I think that night, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, that night she was still trying to claim that the check had been sent, but that she had deleted the emails. And I don't know why I would do that. I can't believe I did that, blah, blah, blah. All this bullshit. Well, we got off of that call that night after many excuses and lies. And we ended up getting on a call the next day. And I think we had another call where she bullshitted us more. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. And I think she lied some more that night, claiming that she still sent it, blah, blah, blah. She just doesn't have the proof of it. Well, then she had made excuses saying, yeah, these were hours-long calls, that we have recordings of them all. She said that she had the money, but that she hadn't sent it yet. Yeah, the next day she was supposed to go to the accountant where she was like, oh, well, I'll go tomorrow and I'll send a check. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The next day, she was supposed to go to her accountant that had already sent the check, but didn't. She lied and fabricated it all. She said, "I'm going to go to the accountant and I'm going to write a check and I'm going to get it out tomorrow." Blah blah blah. So this is all happening within like a couple days. Finally, we finally got her on a call and she admitted that she never sent the money, and that she spent the money. It's been hell. It's been an absolute fucking nightmare. So then she admitted that she spent the money on sex work and alcohol. She first tried to claim it was for her home, but then confessed and said that it was not that. We were throwing up. Y'all, you have no, like, and I'm trying to hold it together right now because, like, this has been fucking hell. Like, after all that we've done to try and bring awareness, and fight for justice for Micah, this was a fucking gut punch. And to find that out, we were throwing up. I was sobbing, bawling. I mean, and this is all recorded. We were in total shock. Absolute total shock. After that, we asked her about we just started asking her different questions about things, and she admitted that the accountant never existed. She said the lawyer never existed. She lied and fabricated it all. Sex work, Angela. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make y'all cry or anything. I'm just trying. No, absolutely not. My freckle journey, Jenny, I'm telling you, I will let you hear the recordings. You will be shocked. She was getting mad at us. She was getting mad at us and yelling at us on the phone when she was caught. She was not remorseful whatsoever. She was manipulative. She was manic. She was hyperventilating, pretending like she was hyperventilating in one moment and it would turn off within a second. It was, I have never in my life, and I'm telling you, I have dealt with some shit. I'm telling y'all, like, y'all know my story. I have dealt with some shit. I have never met someone that could do this type of thing. Never. Gaslighting, manipulation, you name it, it was... If you see any people in here, mods, that are trolls, block them, please. She has it in, even on the phone call, we hadn't, okay, when we finally, okay, here, I'm going to continue on with the story. So, the day that we found out, the day that she owned up to everything, I said, you're going to get on a phone call right now with the family. You're going to get on a phone call right now and tell the family what you've done. And she agreed. And she got on the phone and I'll tell you what that means in just a second, Texas girl. She got on the phone and she told them what she had done, and we got off of that phone call, and within a few hours, she contacted us back, and there's a woman on the video chat laid back in a nightgown. Sue laid up underneath this woman's arm. Sue with like her thumb in her mouth. Like, and this woman is stating, y'all, I'm telling y'all, the story, it's fucking unbelievable. And we have the recordings. We have recorded every bit of this. Every single moment, every single second of all of this is recorded. You can see every bit of it. This woman said, I am an advocate for Sue. Yeah, we watched it all. We heard it all, and it's all recorded. She said, I'm an advocate for Sue. I am here to make everyone whole. I am here to do what I can to make all parties whole. She said, I am going to write a check today. She said, I am going to go to Western Union or whatever to cut a check for the family. I'm going to make it whole, blah, blah, blah. Sue's in her arm, like, tell him your family. Tell him your family. We said what we needed to say. We said, well, you're going to have to contact the family and let them know this. We said, it's not just us involved. There's a lot of people who have donated money, and there's a lot of people that have not gotten their orders, and they're like, what do you want us to do? Since you're her advocate, what would you like us to do to make it whole for everybody involved? And I said, what are we supposed to say to these people that haven't gotten their money, haven't gotten their orders? And what do we say to these people? And she said, direct them all to me. I will be handling everything moving forward. I will be writing a check to the family to fix this. She said, I will handle all of anything that has been going on, anybody that has orders, anybody that needs refunds. She said, send them all directly to me. So there are a few people who reached out to us within the next few days, and those people are probably in the comments here tonight and can vouch for that we told these people, Sue has been dealing with a lot. She has someone that has stepped in as an assistant. Yes, that was Ramona. We said, she's got someone that's helping her. Please reach out to Ramona, and Ramona will help you figure out, yes, Texas girl. Ramona will help you, figure out what you need to get what you need. Sue's been going through a lot, blah, blah, blah. That was that. Ask Sue, I think we might have messaged Sue a couple of more times, maybe once or twice. A couple days later, Sue, have you and Ramona reached out to the family? Have y'all gotten the money to the family? No response. No response at all. No response from anybody. So we kept waiting a few more days, and then finally, it was 2 or 3 days ago now, we reached back out to Sue, and we said, has Ramona sent out the money, blah, 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 and we were like, we need to get on a call. So we got back on our, messenger chat with, well, I'll explain that too, Real at Heart. I said, we need to get on a call because we need to know. Well, we get on a call. We have this one recorded too. We get on a call and we're like, have you talked to the family again? Oh, no, I've not heard anything. We're like, okay. And we're like, have you talked to Ramona? She's like, no, I've not talked to her, but I'm supposed to be having a call with her later on today. And we were like, okay, well, once you speak to her, call us back so that we can find out, whether the money was sent to the family, blah, blah, blah. Okay, okay. So at that point, one of us, I think it was Court, reached out to Ramona through text message and asked her, have you sent the money? Like, we're just reaching out to find out an update of what's going on. Ramona sends back a text and it says, I'm sorry, but I don't have any more involvement in any of this anymore. The fuck? Are you fucking serious? And we were like, hold up, wait a minute. So we get back on a phone call with Sue, and she's like, what? What? And we're like, and she's like, well, I know she's been dealing with a lot and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm sure she's gonna, and we're like, Sue, you have to see how we are very like alarmed right now that she said she's not involved in this. And I said, not only that, but, exact message, I am no longer a part of this situation. I refer you back to Sue. That was the exact message from Ramona. Not only did we get that message back from Ramona, one of the people, Sophie, one of the people who I had sent to Ramona per Ramona, sent her back a message and said, I'm sorry, I'm not involved in this anymore. So I had already had one of y'all were waiting for their items, reached back to me and said, the person you sent me to said they weren't involved anymore. And we were like, what the fuck is going on? The money was supposed to be sent. What is going on? Ramona said the money would be sent that day. So we get back on a call. We were on the call with Sue and we're like, Sue, this is not making sense. She's like, and she was like, well, she's like, at first she said that she had been talking to her, but then within a few minutes she said, oh, well, I've not talked to her. The woman says one thing and before the sentence is finished, it contradicts the other thing that she says. And we were like, wait a minute. So you haven't talked to her, but you just said earlier that you did talk to her. And we were like, well, you need to get off of this call and contact her and contact us back. And she gets off the phone and then she comes back on the phone and she says, yeah, she's like, when we were on the phone with her, she was like, she was supposed to be corresponding with all y'all and blah, blah. And we were like, well, we've texted her and she's not responded. Oh, well, she's not responded. What? Anyways, we're like, you need to contact her and contact us back. We need to figure out what's going on, what's happening here. So she gets off the phone and she goes and contacts Ramona. And then a few minutes later, she calls us back and, I can't remember exactly what she said when she got back on the phone. More lies and saying, yeah, well, she's dealing with a lot. So she can't do anything right now. And before that sentence could get out of her mouth, she was talking about her house again and how she was gonna send the lies about the realtor, saying that she was going to do a short sale on her house and blah blah blah, when meanwhile we had already found out that her house was in foreclosure. It's up for auction in November. We're like, how in the world are you gonna sell your home if none of it made sense? Which Chastity did say last night that is possible. So, I mean, I'm not a realtor. I can't really say that, but it was like before she could get out, it was like all of a sudden, and it was like, but wait, what? So, yeah, she claimed the day that, we were waiting for her she said she was going to go that next day and get money from her father. her family, and she lied to us that next day and said that she met up with them and they wouldn't give her money or whatever. So yeah, it was just one lie after another. And so at that point, we knew that she was not going to be sending this money. We had been lied to so many times at that point that it wasn't going to be sent. And at that point, we believed that something we even asked her. We said, did anything happen with you and Ramona? No, I don't know what's going on. It's just insanity. It's absolute insanity. We have every single thing recorded. We have it all, every bit of proof. And at that point, we knew we had to go public all along. From the moment we found out that this had happened, we knew we were going to go public. We just needed to have all of the facts, and we needed to know the truth as much as we could figure it out, so that we could come to y'all with the truth, with everything that had happened. This went down, what was the date, y'all? It was a week ago. A week, maybe 8 days now, that we first found out any of this, and only a few days ago did we find out for sure that Ramona wasn't sending money and all of this. So sex work, PORN. The girlfriend that she had is an adult entertainer. So she was paying her for her to communicate with her. She was paying her for videos and pictures. No, I did not out that Love My Cocoa Puffs. Someone else outed that last night. So I feel it's okay to give that that info. So in a roundabout, I mean, there was lots of other things that had been said or whatever, but like, of course I can't repeat every word verbatim, but all of it's been recorded, every bit of it. I do not believe that she is harming her children directly. I do not believe that her children are in any harm whatsoever, other than their mother is sick. October 1st is when Ramona let us know she removed herself from Sue. And we had to reach out to Sue to find that out. Ramona was an advocate that Sue and Ramona, they told us that she was going to pay the money to the family, but ended up backing out of it all. Yes, I mean, I can she said that she was an advocate, that she was a crisis interventionist type of a thing, that she had experience in that, and that she was a family friend of Sue's, and that she was stepping in on behalf of Sue to make everyone whole. I don't know, Brandy. There's a group of people that have been out to try and take me down for a long time, and they are using this situation as a means to do that. So, but like I said, we have proof. We have recordings of every single thing, and these recordings were sent to the family, just so everyone knows. The recordings that we're speaking of were sent to the family as well. Yes, Eljoy said that last night on the panel, that what Sue said on the like, I'm sure y'all have already heard me explain a lot more to y'all than what she explained last night. And that's what Eljoy said last night, was that Sue was only giving 10% of the actual truth of what had happened. Yeah. We have filled out cyber FBI crime reports. I think all of the mods that spent money on items, donated money to her for different things. We have all filled out those. We did contact the sheriff's department in her county as well. They are very difficult to listen to, and listening to them again after being the one to experience it on the call with her is very eye-opening to how manipulative and how this cannot be the first time. It can't. We did a background check, Real at Heart, in the beginning. And that's something else that a couple people said last night. They're like, well, you didn't vet her? Do a background check. Do a background check on her. Go look up her and go look up, and you will find articles where she has been the lead of fundraisers before. You will find proof of what she's been involved in as far as being in charge of fundraisers, running fundraisers. What was like on the board, like the board of, y'all have to help me, the mods that know, like her past experience. We vetted her, and that is, but see, like the thing is too, is that when I started in the Micah case, I would have never raised money. I don't do that. I've never done shit like that in my life. I've never even been in true crime. I would never, ever. Chamber of Commerce. She worked for the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. Her background was perfect, and she had a lot of credentials that proved that she had done these things before. And I'm nobody. I'm stay-at-home mom that got on TikTok to advocate for, or to speak out on behalf of Micah and help fight for justice for Micah. Like I don't, yeah, well, searching her, not an actual background check. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we did do a background check because I think that's clean too. Yeah, like she had an accountant. She, like, you name it. What she said and what we looked up on her was, and that's the thing. It's like I said, I would have never raised money. Not that I'm against raising money, but I don't know. I didn't know anything about fundraising. She claimed that she did, and she came in and was like, I want to start an Etsy shop. So what did I do? I reached out to the family and I said, I've got this person who is done this before, and she's done this before, and she's this and she's that. She wants to create an Etsy shop to sell Justice for Micah t-shirts. And we sent over the examples of the t-shirts. The family chose the ones they wanted, and that's what started. After that, she would jump on panel and would be like, hey, look at what I made, and I'm gonna sell these. And we were like, okay. I thought she had permission, or I didn't know anything about what to do as far as fundraising, and I trusted that she knew what she was doing. I trusted that whatever guidelines and rules that someone needed to follow to create a fundraiser or to run a fundraiser, I thought she knew what she was doing. So I allowed her to use my platform to create this whole thing. And she advertised it, and we helped her advertise it because we didn't know anybody else, so I didn't know any different. And then the next thing was, let's do an auction. Okay. And the auction was other people's items that were donated, and so no money was going to have to be sent to anybody other than shipping. And so we helped host this auction for her, and the only piece of info that we had was keeping track of who won what on the live. That's the only spreadsheets or information that we ever had. So, and shame on us for believing her, I guess. But that's what she did. She's done this in the past multiple times. So, exactly, Texas girl. She never could follow the Micah investigation. She was only wanting to show her stuff and talk fast. Yeah. Yeah, it was, everything just took off overnight. Yeah. Do you believe all the issues with previous mods and the leaking was Sue now? No, I don't. Mm-mm. Yeah, she would go on panel and show something new she made and advertise it and be like, oh, this is this much. If you would want it, I have a form you can fill out. And we didn't question it because she has run fundraisers before. We didn't, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, And that's why that's why we'd never, looking back now, I cannot say that I don't think this was intentional from the jump. Yes, Lady Stone. Well, Jaded, if you look up her online and you find the articles, they're like praising her for the amount of money that she helped raise for certain fundraisers. So we didn't think that anyone needed to look into it even more, And I guess looking back now, maybe we should have, and I can take ownership of, she was on the news for fundraising. Like we didn't feel like we needed to. I think she's, hi Tiffany. Like I said, Jenny, I think I think at this point she's willing to do anything to try and save herself. Number one. Number two, how do I say this? I think that there are certain people in this world who get off on it. I think there are people in this world who take from people, and I don't know. That's just, I don't know. I don't know how to word it any other way. Right. Well, Greta, that's the thing is like, that's why it took us a week to go public and a week to do what we needed to do as far as the FBI is, because we have compassion and we have empathy, and we tried to ask for her family's information so that we could try and help her get into a rehab. To we were concerned about her and her mental health, and we were concerned, like, we cared about her, and we wanted to not just do things right by us, we wanted to do things right by the family, we wanted to do things right by the people who were scammed, but we also wanted to do right by Sue. You know. Um, I mean, she owned up to some of it, but did not own up to everything, and she only said enough, but didn't say it all. So, I can't speak for her and say whether it was genuine or not. I know my opinion, but that doesn't necessarily matter whatsoever, because everyone has opinions. But yeah, you can come up. Absolutely. I was just trying to get everything out before anybody came up, but yeah, absolutely. A cat trying to get in.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this real quick with the whole money situation. Coming from someone who we sold our house and stuff a couple years back, that regardless if it's a cash offer or not, when you put into your bank account, it takes 3 to 5 business days for it to clear your account before you can spend any of that money. So her saying that she'll get it on Friday and she's going to send it right over, just be prepared that she probably will tell you it hasn't cleared her account, that it may be the next week. So trust her, don't trust her, I get it, but just be prepared next Friday when she tells you it has not cleared her account. Because like even my bank, I put $350 in. I put it in on a Wednesday night, and it wasn't available for me for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So just keep that in mind when she says it's not available. That's actually not a lie, depending on her bank.
Right.
But just keep that in mind.
Right. Thank you.
No problem. I just wanted to throw that out there for you, just so.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, that's good to know.
I'll step down now. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, I don't really, I don't believe it either, but I mean,
Good evening.
I,
Hey, hon. I can see it in your face. You're heartbroken.
yeah, this has been very
I
difficult.
know. I can see it. And I feel for you. I've had people that I thought were my friends screw me over many times. And it sucks because you thought you did your due diligence to prevent things, and people suck.
Yeah.
I wanted to clarify what she said. Yes. So when I did our cash sale in our house, and that's what I was putting in the chat, like we didn't even have I was able to do it without a realtor on both ends, the guy that bought my house for the cash. Um, so it didn't take as long, of course, to do the process because there wasn't as many people involved, yada yada. So we closed on a Wednesday. Um, he brought the funds the funds had already been transferred into my attorney's bank account that morning before we got there. So he already had the money. He did the wire transfer by the end of the day that day to my bank. It showed up at my bank the next morning, but it was still pending. And it did take 3 to 5 business days. Even though it was a cash transfer, wire transfer, it did take 3 to 5 business days. I can't exactly remember. For those funds to be available to me. So regardless of, it's not like whoever, if this is really happening, is going to come with a check, give it to her, and she's just going to go to the bank and it's going to be like, okay, here's your money.
Right.
You know what I mean? I sincerely hope that that's what she's doing. I know it is possible to do. And, and I know a lot of people are saying, like, I can't believe that she's doing that and then she's going to be able to stay in the house and blah, blah, blah. I mean, even with ours, the way we did it, not quite as long, of course, but we had an open-ended kind of contract that I didn't have to be out by a certain date. They didn't need to move in right away. They were still selling their home, so literally I was in my house another almost 4 months before we moved. So I mean, things can work out that way. Especially if it's somebody that that you're gonna sell it to, you know what I mean? It ended up being a friend of ours that bought it, so now I will say, if it's somebody that's buying it because it's gonna be an investment for them, a lot of times they don't like to basically rent to the person that just sold it.
Right.
Because that was another option for me through another party. And that's what I want to know. If I sell it to you, could we still stay here? And then I would just basically rent it. And he was like, we did that one time. And it did not work out well, so we do not do that anymore. Because, you never know. When you're renting a place, I mean, you don't know what that person's going to do to your property or...
Also, wouldn't the fact that if she didn't make her payments and ended up going into foreclosure, wouldn't that affect someone doing that as well?
No, not necessarily. I mean, if she knows the person, if she's going to take that chunk of money and basically turn right back around and give it to them for the next however many months, they already have the money in hand, so they're getting their rent. But she would definitely have to pay them up front because they already know she's in this situation. There's a reason. So they're going to want to make sure that they have their money if they're going to allow her to do that.
Right. So even if you owe the bank for your house, you can still sell it.
Oh yeah. So literally, okay, so my house, well, it technically wasn't even my house. It was my mom. It was in my mom's name. My mom passed. But we lived there with my mom. I took care of my mom until she passed. And the house was to be left to me. We tried to keep it up as long as we could. And then things happened. My husband got hurt. I was a stay-at-home mom, so we got behind. I got in over my head at one point, and I'm like, okay, it's not working. We got to do something before I totally lose it. Like, because I didn't want to lose the equity that was in the house. So when my mom purchased it, she purchased it for a certain amount of money. When the foreclosure came about, we only owed $124,000 on it. I was able to sell it for double that because of how the market was at that time.
Right.
So I only had to pay the bank the $124,000. And there were some attorney fees and stuff like that from the foreclosure, which was already taken off the top. And then the rest of that was the equity in the house that was mine to keep.
Right.
So yes, you can totally, as long as that property does not make it to sheriff's sale and get sold at the sheriff's sale, you can save it and still sell it.
I was going to touch on that real quick about like when we sold our house. We closed on it. We hadn't even closed on it, and they told us we had 24 hours to be out. So I don't know like what kind of lease agreement that she has, if there's really a lease agreement, but that whole staying in the house, I don't know how much of that can actually happen because I don't know where she lives. But we didn't do a short sell, like we sold our house and we moved, but they literally, when it came in, when it was going, because it was an investment property, that they told us we had 24 hours, and this was before we even closed on our house. Like we were quote unquote homeless for like 3 days because we hadn't closed on the new house.
Right.
But it was an investment property, and they told us we had 24 hours to get everything out of the house. So again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but coming from like what I went through 4 years ago when we bought our new house and sold our old house, like we couldn't stay there. So, I mean, if I were y'all, you don't have to take I'm not a legal person or anything like that, but I would ask for those documents that she kept talking about last night to see how much of that's actually true.
Absolutely. Because in most sales of homes, it's written in the contract how many days you have until you have to hand over the keys. Usually,
because what's to say that how are they going to trust her to, like, if she couldn't pay her mortgage? And I think she said last night, I could be wrong, I don't have it on recording, but she said that they had it to where she could stay till next summer.
Right. Well, and that's what I was saying.
She was going to pay up front.
If that is the case, that would be written in that contract. Yeah. She can stay until this date. This is the money that's owed. So what they would do is literally at closing, they would take that money right off the top and it would stay with the buyer to cover her for the next X amount of months. Like, that'll all be handled at the closing, so that all of that should be in that paperwork. It has to be, or it's not legal.
Yeah, Casey, so to cover y'all's behinds, I would definitely ask for that paperwork.
Yep.
And because there's so much legal stuff, and because your name is attached to her, unfortunately, I would definitely ask for that paperwork that got sent to her email that she just so happened she couldn't be on her phone and look at her email at the same time.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm no expert, but I can multitask.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm on my phone, but I can get on my laptop real quick and click and show you my documents from when I sold my home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, all of that would have to be written up in the contract. And so and that's there should be proof of that. And if there's not, then it's a bunch of crap.
Right.
Regardless if it's a cash sale with a whoever, and there has to be either a title company involved, a lawyer involved, or a realtor involved. Those are the three.
Actually, it's all of the above, especially in Georgia.
Well, I didn't have to. I only had to use my lawyer. None of us, and actually my buyer used my lawyer too. We did not have to have a realtor, and we did not have to have a title company.
Each state is different.
Yeah, each state is different. I'm in Ohio.
in Georgia, when we sold our house, we had a lawyer because my dad had just passed away
Yeah.
a couple years ago, so he was still in the house, the old house, but we had to have a lawyer and our realtor involved in all of the transactions from the old house to the new house.
Yeah. See, like you said, it is different from state to state. Because I was in the same situation, but I was able to use my probate lawyer to do what I needed to do. Being it was, I never put it on the market. I didn't do anything like that. And somebody just came to me like, hey, I'll buy it. And I'm like, huh, okay. You're going to have
Guys,
it.
I don't mean to interrupt. I just have a quick second.
Sure.
Cassie, are you okay? I can't. I'm so worried about you and what you're going through and how painful this is for you. I mean,
I'm
I see
okay. As
Well, I
okay
know
as I can be.
you've been saying that for a long time, and I know that they're coming after you and they're posting their videos, your fan club and all that stuff. But I've just about had it myself. I got off work early tonight, and I'm so glad that you're doing this live. But at the end of the day, if this doesn't teach people that you cannot trust everybody you meet on the internet. I don't care if they tell you they're the president's daughter or who they are. Don't believe them. You got to build the trust. In Casey, you are a person that trusts people. And I know that. And I know that because you're a good human, and I know that too. And I'm so sad that you got brought into this and that Sue, out of all people, puts you in a situation like this. Because it's really fucked up, guys. At the end of the day, Casey didn't ask to be here. She didn't ask to be involved in this. This is not what she does. She's trying to make people smile and do better and be better. Is she perfect? No, she's not fucking perfect. But she's a good human. And I think a lot of people are forgetting that you are in the crossfire of this because, again, you wanted to do something good. And it's really fucked up that this keeps happening to you. And I'm so sorry. And I know a lot of people care about you and, put the houses and the realtors and all the bullshit aside. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Luckily I've done a lot of therapy and I've done a lot of healing, and I've gone through a lot of shit in my life that I know how to manage my mental health, and I know how to not let what other people think and feel about me affect me. And it's a good fucking thing I can do that because with the shit that's been coming at me from these people is enough to push someone over the edge. So I'm very happy that I do have the strength and the ability to know how to handle it, because if it was anyone else that didn't have that strength, there would be a different outcome.
Well, I'm going to call your bullshit right now because through all of the drama on this app and all of the people that have targeted me over one true crime creator, and I was thankful, like, okay, I can take it on. But at the end of the day, nobody was asking if I was okay or how are you. But I listened. But let me tell you, I listened to how they felt and what they did and what they're going through and how they feel. And Casey, you're human. So you hurt just like everybody else. I don't care how much therapy you've had. Mm-hmm. You hurt just like everybody else. And you have a breaking point just like everybody else. Right. And enough is enough. I mean, I don't give a shit who's recording this. If you guys want to target somebody, I'm open game. Come on. Come to my profile. Send me a message. Do whatever you got to do. I'm over it. Leave her the fuck alone. And she's doing the right thing. She's recorded every conversation. She's handling the business. And she's grieving somebody she thought was a friend. Lesson learned. Yeah. She wouldn't have done this to you on purpose. It's not malicious, guys. Nothing on Casey's end is malicious. And again, is she perfect? No, I'm sure she's hurt a few of you out there. But get over it, guys. This is some serious stuff going on. Yeah. Get over it. I'm sorry, Casey. I'm really worried about you, and I don't do the whole Micah Miller stuff, but I come in and I check on you. And yesterday at work, I checked on you, and I think people need to check on you a little bit more, and I hope that people are listening. We need to check on each other a little bit more. Right. Yeah. It's important, Sue's stuff is important right now too, guys. Don't think I'm disregarding that because I'm not.
Right.
Casey and those that love and stand by her, that's important too. She does a lot of good for this app, and she stands strong through all the bullshit that's thrown her way. Give her a little bit on her a little bit more, please.
Well, and that's what I was saying in the chat. They're on a witch hunt for you.
Fuck them all. How
I
about
know,
that?
but I'm
Fuck
just
'em
saying I
all.
want her to be aware and be safe and just know that they are, and it's sick. The shit that they are putting out there and trying to force upon people to believe and go on this witch hunt with them.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying
And
to blame you for what Sue did, right? And granted, right, if your mistake is that you trusted somebody and you held the fundraiser, that your mistake is there. That's the reality of it. You made a mistake, and unfortunately that's the truth of it. But did you do it maliciously? No, I don't believe that. I don't care what screenshots somebody puts up. I don't care what panels you have talking about. If you have something to say to me, come say it to me. I don't give two fucks about that. I'm a different breed. So I don't care. But at the end of the day, if you guys cannot tell that Casey's following is because she's a good human, something's wrong with you. I misjudged her myself, and I feel terrible to that day. She makes mistakes. She's not perfect.
we're all
But
human. We all do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
it's hard in this world to find people that want to do right. And I'm sure the Miller family knows that your part in this, Casey.
Life is hard as it is, and when you have people with ill intentions involved in your circle, it makes it even harder.
Right. Yeah.
And you get blindsided, and it hurts, and it sucks. And then you have a group of people that are literally, they need to be putting on a witch costume and put, they're on a witch hunt, and it's like, when is enough people? I
It's
mean,
enough. It's enough. It's
yeah,
enough.
it's just,
It's enough. You were targeted before this. They were coming at you before this, and then I got the messages at work last night that now this was Sue, and then today now the hateful videos start again, and all the nonsense. You've been going through it for a couple months, Casey, and I don't know if anybody else understands being hated on this app or people creating videos about you or lying on your name and your character, but it's ugly. It's ugly, and it can take somebody to a very dark place. It doesn't matter how strong they are. We're all human, and it's very rare that you find good humans in this world today. And you're one of them, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody treat you like that. It's not going to, I'll go into every live talking as much shit as I can because I've had enough. I've really just had enough.
Yeah.
And if you ever need a hug or an air hug or a friend, I'm here to just listen, and no judgment here. I care so much about you and what you're doing on this app. And you made a mistake. You made a mistake. You're human. Human. And you'll get through this.
and the only mistake that was made was just trusting the wrong person. That's only her mistake. I mean,
Yeah.
and didn't go in, and then to me, and really didn't go in it blindly trusting the wrong person. You guys did your due diligence. You vetted her. You looked up, her past and the things that she's done. And honestly, from what you guys have said that you found and seen, and she was on freaking TV, people praising her for her, past things that she's done. I wouldn't have questioned anymore either.
Right.
Well, she's an addict, guys. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's the casino or it's
yeah,
that.
it doesn't matter.
She's an addict.
Yeah.
You guys lift her up in prayer. That's what she needs.
Yeah.
She needs to find a way through this. I know I've been there and I've done some ugly things, but she's got to come through this for her kids, for people who love her. I mean, yes, she needs a consequence, and she needs them bad.
Right.
However, in the meantime, lift her up with love, because that's really what she needs. Tough love. A lot of love.
Right.
I'm not defending Sue. Please don't get me wrong. I'm just an addict myself, and I've been there, and not what she did, but I've been there.
Right. Well, addicts deserve love too, and they, they deserve love just as much as anyone, but they also need to be accountable, just like we are holding her accountable. And, even though they're an addict or they struggle with mental health, people still need to be accountable for their actions. And I think that that's important too. And I
Well,
think,
that's the thing. If you don't hold addicts accountable, you just enable them.
exactly. Yeah.
And she needs to not be enabled anymore.
Let me
And
tell you, people enabling me is what kept me alive. People tough loving me and making me accountable is what damn near took my life, because I didn't want accountability and I didn't want to face the things that I did. And when I had to face the things that I did, I overdid everything. But we do, addicts, you guys are right. We do need that. We don't need to be enabled. We don't need more codependents. We need people that are going to call us on our shit because they love us,
Right.
not for any other reason other than they
yeah,
love
and I'm
us.
not saying it coming from holding them accountable and not enabling, but coming from a place of caring and love and doing it, not hate, not that. Because I know there's plenty of people that do that to addicts, and that doesn't help anyone. But coming from a place of compassion and truly wanting the best for that person to help them and get them through it and help guide them through it however you can to your best ability, that's what they need. But they do not need the hate. Because
Absolutely.
obviously they hate themselves enough.
Right.
She is at rock bottom. Yeah, just me. She is at rock bottom. You know that. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I won't sit up here and hate on Sue. But you
No.
guys, she does need consequences, though, for her actions. There's no doubt about it. This was ugly and uncalled for. But Casey, it's not your fault.
No,
It's
it's
in
not.
it. It's not your fault. It's not. And I need you to understand it's not your fault. It's not. And it's going to be okay. It will. And I wish I could hug you and let you cry, because I know you need to cry. But I know what you're going through, Casey, and I'm sorry. And I care, and I know a lot of people care.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
If you just need a venting post, you can record me all day long. I don't care. If you just need somebody to talk to or whatever, just listen. I'm here to listen at any time, Casey. People care about you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'll step down and keep smiling, sunshine. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And my whole thing with the sale is just, if it's really happening that way, Casey, there is proof.
Right.
There will have to be proof, and there will have to be proof that you can verify. Because it will have to have the names of any lawyers, realtors, title companies, anything like that on the paperwork.
Right.
And somebody made a comment in the chat that I totally agree with, because I just read it, that if it's a cash sale, like she's saying, once the sale happens, with it being a cash sale, no banks involved, things like that, you can go check the auditor site of the county, and it should transfer over within usually like 48 hours. I know mine did. When it's through like banks and everything else, it takes a lot longer. But when it's a cash sale, the counties turn that over to the other person on the site very quickly. So I would say if this happens Friday, by next Tuesday or Wednesday, that should be able to be verified that the house was sold and it's in the new person's name. If she will not send you any documents.
I just
So-
wanted to say, about 2 years ago, I was in the situation where I lost my house, and I wanted to do where she's at in the process, because they have a foreclosure date or an auction date. I mean, maybe it varies state to state, but where she's at in the auction date, you can't even do a short sale right now. And if you were to do a short sales take forever and a day to close. So for her to say, and this is, I hate this, but for her to say that she just got the contract and she's expecting the money by Friday, that's not, it doesn't work that way. It's not, I mean, especially because it's already in the foreclosure process.
I mean, I'm in Ohio and mine was in foreclosure. The bank came to the property to assess it so they could set up the auction date. And we got our contract the night before. We both signed it, sent it back, and we were in the lawyer's office the next morning and did our sale. But I'm in Ohio. I
Right.
don't
So it
know.
might be different from state to state.
Yeah, so I don't know what Georgia's laws are.
Right.
But if she's short sales are totally different.
Yeah.
Mine was just a straight out. He went and wired the money to my lawyer, and it was a sale. It was a cash sale. Period. End of story. We were in and out of his office within 10 minutes.
So
Yeah. So I don't. I'll look up for you, Casey. I'll dig into their laws.
Yeah, and I mean,
About
and
that.
it all depends on, I mean, if she owes $250 on it, and that's what he's offering, she's not
That's
getting any
the other
money out of
thing.
that.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Depends on how much she owes, how many lawyer fees are already
right,
racked
closing
up.
costs, everything like that.
Yes.
So she may not come out with anything,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
the other
and it just breaks my heart because she's got two girls, you know, and it's like when I know addiction is, it's awful. It's, and I know people that have gone through it. I know somebody in jail now that's gone, he's suffering his consequences because of his actions during his addiction. But, and, to me, when you have kids, you have to think about those consequences before, or you have to think about, what the consequence may be when you have children. And I've never been in there. I don't understand. But to me, you have to put those children first before you do anything stupid.
there was a few red flags when it came to the house stuff last night. It didn't make any sense to me. So first of all, they typically don't like to do much more of a lease back than maybe just like a month to bridge the gap between like your new house you're about to buy and the other house. One big reason is if something was to happen to your house while you're in lease back, now that whole sale doesn't make any sense, right? Like a tree falls on it, right? Or something like that. Now all of a sudden you don't technically own this house, but the other people don't want it no more because it just got destroyed. It's inhabitable, right? So that's one thing. A lease back for that long is extremely unusual.
Yeah.
Maybe a month or something, just to, like I said, bridge the gap. Second of all, what was strange to me is he said, I didn't want anything to disrupt my children's life. So what I did is I did this whole lease back thing till the summer. Well, what happens in the summer? Like,
Right.
that's like a, 6, 7, I don't know, 8-month plan or whatever. Like, because, and then the other thing she said was she has a bunch of equity in the house. And I feel like she had a bunch of equity in the house.
Why didn't you refinance it?
With the way the housing market is now, it's so expensive to go out and buy something else. Don't you think she would want to like try to keep this house? And I mean, I get she has addiction, but like she acted like she has this great plan. But I don't know. It didn't.
Well, my thing is, if you have that much equity in it, why didn't you refinance it before now, when the interest rates were low?
Yeah.
And you could have saved it, and you could have got equity out of it, and took care of it.
Yeah, it's just
You know what I'm saying? Some of it didn't make sense to me either.
like it just. I don't know. It didn't add up.
The only reason why I couldn't go that route was because I didn't technically own our home. It was in my mom's name and she had passed. Or that would have been an option for us, would have been to refinance it because we didn't owe that much on it. But I wasn't in that position. But with her actually owning her home, if she's got that much equities like she's saying, if you were in trouble a while ago with it, you could have refinanced it, got yourself out of that.
But like people were saying in the chat that she may not have the credit score, and if you get behind on your mortgage, I used to do loans, more than likely they are not going to refinance you. They look, especially, if you're a couple months behind, they look at you as a big credit risk. They're not going to do anything. They'd rather have you lose your house
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if she knew she was getting, she was coming into trouble, and she has all this equity in her home, you would have thought she would have. To me, she seems intelligent. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you would have prevented this. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yep.
Yeah, like you would have prevented that from happening because you could have at that point.
Thank you, Marie. I thought that too. Marie just said we looked into it and she has multiple mortgages on her home.
Oh, well, then she's already done it. She's already took out a second mortgage on her home.
Right.
Second or third. Well, then I don't know that there's going to be any money. I mean, good God.
Exactly.
Is she $1 million home? I mean, let's be for real here.
I don't foresee any, let alone the whole idea of doubling it.
Right.
I think this is obviously like a deep-rooted issue there.
Yeah, I think there's not. Like I said, if it is true, there was ways to figure it out once that day comes next week. If she will not provide the documents to you guys, and I know you guys said she's fabricated other documents, but there are ways, if she does provide you with them, that you all can figure it out, that if they're real or not.
I like Cocoa Puff, which she just asked. Do you think it's, is it an addiction or is it another excuse?
I will answer that. This is my opinion based off of, we would have mod calls all the time. She was always on the phone with us. She was on lives, and she says she was a functioning alcoholic, but I never saw any signs that she was drinking or inebriated in any way, shape, or form. Ever.
Right.
Ever.
I mean, I've known functioning alcoholics. I mean,
yes. I'm not saying that it's not true, but I'm just telling you, what and the mods said as well. When we heard that, we were like, what? Would have never even been suspicious of that. But
that could explain part of her energy level. I don't know. Right. Well, I'm going to bed. Ladies, have a good night.
Have a good night.
Can you drop me down? I don't know what I'm doing.
Sure. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Lydia said her parents bought in 1992 for $69,000, sold in 2020 for $220,000. It's possible. It is possible. Like I said, for what my mom bought the house for and what I sold it for, it is possible. But if she's got multiple mortgages on it, and she's already behind, and it's already in foreclosure. There's legal fees that are racked up now. I mean, it's a lot.
I feel like, hey guys, it's Kim. I feel like at this point we can go ahead and assume that nothing she says is true. Like this debating about whether the house is I don't think it's gonna happen. And the reason I'm saying that is because for me, it's easier to just accept that and move forward at this point and start figuring out what's next. Like I'm just pretty much assuming that there's not going to be money on Friday. You know what I mean?
That's how I feel too. But at the same time, I think part of like going back and forth and discussing that is people processing the shock of it all. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think we can all agree that the likelihood that this money is going to be paid is very, very slim. But I think a lot of people are just trying to process what they've heard in the last 24 hours. So, I mean.
No, y'all, totally. I didn't mean to try to shut anyone down.
No,
I just was saying, I'm looking at it and I'm sitting here thinking, the money's not coming on Friday. And if I can just, instead of putting off my like heartbreak till Friday, if I can just start in my own self accepting that it's like, I don't want to wait till Friday because I think I just need to start accepting it now.
Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. I don't know.
Huh?
Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that. Unfortunately, I don't think we can really believe anything she says.
Can I just say too, like,
sadly.
I care less about the little bit that I bought some trays, like whatever. I got them, cool, my money, it's whatever, it's not much. But what I'm sad about is that the family, like, knows that there's $12,000 that a community rallied together to get in honor of Micah. And, like, now, who knows if they'll ever get it.
Right.
That's kind of just sad because, that's it. 'Cause that's a big change,
Yeah.
There's
Well,
so many mixed emotions about it.
yeah, she sent that day that she was caught, we had her send us like her like screenshots and spreadsheets, which she could be not sending us everything. That's true. But we've been the spreadsheets and everything that she sent us were so bad that we have one mod that's been trying to calculate all the amounts, and she's still not done. And it's been a mess. Not only that, but it's not just the money that people spent on the fundraising. It's also money that people donated to her for cameras, for lawyer fee, for certain things that she asked for. She said she needed money because she had refunded people, but she never had refunded anyone. But like you name it, we have. It's a lot of money that a lot of the mods had sent her for other things outside of the fundraising. So she owes. It's a lot of money.
So no one's been refunded at all.
No.
I don't think I realized that. Wow.
And that's also probably what was like kind of a red flag too, like the constant like donate for this, donate for that. Like, hey,
Wait, so nobody has received a refund at all?
And here's another part of this.
Oh.
He sent us a spreadsheet. Y'all, listen to this. It had a list of tracking numbers. She had filled out shipping labels. She said she spent $2,500, close to $2,500 on shipping labels for items, lied to us that the items were shipped out, and went back and refunded every bit of them.
What?
you mean she like canceled the shipping labels?
Huh?
So you mean like she went in and like canceled the shipping labels?
Yes, and refunded it to herself.
Wow.
Yeah, you can do that. I work for a company that does a lot of shipping, so I know how the shipping stuff works.
Yeah, sadly, I don't think this is the first time she's done this, because half that stuff is like, I would never even think to do that.
Well, we've been mind blown. Like, this cannot be the first time. It cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought and what is the word I'm looking for?
Manipulation and strategy.
Yeah, that has to go into something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
just don't do that.
I feel like
you
there
just
is
don't
more to
do
the
that on a
story.
whim. Yeah, you just don't do that on a whim. Like, you have to be fabricating this as you go along, like to keep up with it. Like it's not just yeah, that's insane. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right, well, I'm gonna hop down. I love you guys. Let's
Love you.
start healing. I don't know what else to say.
So there really is no real way to know exactly how much then.
No.
Oh God.
No, because we don't know how many people actually reached out to her outside of us to give her money for things that and also I found out too that when she was asking for monies for the cameras for me, she said that she had the amount that she needed, but that she needed more because she was going to be purchasing a taser and all these other things to add to it as well. So people were sending her more money for that, and none of it was sent. None of it was there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. But I want everyone to know that the money that was sent to sue for the cameras, we will never get, I guarantee you. But I do want to let everyone know that my mods today put in money together and they got me a Ring camera, and it's already installed on my home. So just so everyone knows, at least I have some sort of security system and cameras outside of my home.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah. 5 cameras to be exact. Yes, 5 of them. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, somebody just said, I wonder if her mom doesn't speak to her. When you guys mentioned last night about wanting to get in touch with her family, and she absolutely would not allow that. There's a reason for that.
Well, we do know that she talks to them because on her little one's birthday, they had a birthday party for her, and she got on video call and introduced all of us to her mom, her dad, and all of her family.
Well, I mean, she doesn't want them to know what she's been doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? She doesn't want to be outed to them.
Yeah, she stole almost $600 from Marie.
Oh my God.
It's almost, I think, close to $2,000 from all of the mods for donations to her for different things that she asked for. Yeah. Insane. But
Mm-mm-mm.
Tiger,
Well,
450.
praying for all of you. Y'all are in my thoughts because this is terrible.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate it.
mean, I have been done wrong by someone that I was friends with for many, many, many years, all the way from high school. And an addiction got to her, literally. I mean, and it was a legit addiction. And she turned into someone that I don't know that person now.
Right.
And I know that feeling. It's a horrible feeling. And that's not something I would even wish on my worst enemy. Like,
I agree.
But I just want you guys to know I'm thinking about you guys, and
I appreciate that.
like I said, I'll do some digging about the
Thank you.
and see what I can come up with, and I'll send you a message.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
See what I figure out. So you ladies have a good evening. I'm gonna jump down.
You too.
I'm going to bed. I'm tired. My brain's fried.
I had a similar situation with a friend, not the whole addiction thing, but just would always hit me up for big amounts of money and needed it and never would pay me back. And didn't matter how much she said, oh, my husband's getting back from military training. He's going to write you that check as soon as he gets back. And, oh, we just got this new apartment that we need when he gets back. Can you help with the, deposit and setting up some stuff in here? And I always felt, oh, yeah, want to help you out.
Right.
Well, never moved me back to this day, like 15 years ago. Anyways, it taught me a good lesson, and I will never lend more than I'm willing to kiss goodbye. And the same goes with like donations and stuff. That's why when I was like earlier, I was like, it was a little bit like it's no big deal, because like had it been a lot, I probably would have been, a little bit more like heartbroken for myself. I mean, I'm heartbroken for the situation and for but I will tell you that saying, like, like when it comes to like people you're not sure about trusting, it's hard. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who's really gonna do the right thing. Like if you lend them money paying back, or if you donate, give it to the right people that they're supposed to. Like I don't know. It's tricky.
It's sad. I'm not convinced either, Texas girl. But
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
I love Just Me. Everything she said is so perfect. It's one of those things where this has been dragged on for over a week now, and I think that's when we were like, okay, we need to move on from this, which is when we decided to file the reports and everything, because it was lie after lie, extending, and it was like the goalposts kept moving, the story kept changing. It was this, it was that, it was the other thing, and we just were finally like, we had to just accept it. We had to accept, and that was the day that Casey really broke down. The day that Ramona, it was so hard for our hearts to accept that this is what was happening, and we were holding on to just like that little bit of hope. Like I'm sure some of you are still feeling that little bit of hope that she's going to come through and that this can't be true. And it was like, I think we all finally had to just accept it and move forward. As hard as that was that day. Don't do that. My son. And I think it was just like, there was something in our gut. Like the lesson for me was just it always is like, listening to your gut, listening to that intuition and not ignoring it. Cause I know we were ignoring some of that, especially once we stopped the fundraising. It was like, we need to stop the fundraising because we need to get this all organized, because it just seemed we weren't getting information from Sue. We didn't really know how many items were coming in, going out. She kept saying she was overwhelmed. So we're like, okay, we need to stop. We need to get this organized. And then it was excuse after excuse after excuse. And then it was, as soon as we started catching her in those little things, was when it was like, okay, once you catch a lie, then you have to question all of it. Everything comes crumbling down from that point. And so we had to get the truth, and we kept fighting until we got the truth.
Cool Story Bro said, as a fundraiser coordinator or director, you're just as liable for your vendors or volunteers. Well, that may be true, but I was not a coordinator or a director. So Sue did it on her own. She was the fundraiser coordinator and the fundraiser director. She used my platform to do said fundraising. So one of your mods messaged people telling them to stop asking questions and talking. I don't believe that, but I would like to know who you're referring to. Yeah, Candace messaged me yesterday, I think. Yeah, so I've talked with her. Mm-hmm. No, that's not true. Cool Story Bro, and I have the proof to prove it. He said, not true. You started raising money before she even offered to step in and help. And I'm so sorry, but you're misguided. It was never my idea to fundraise. It was all Sue's. Sue had control of it all. Sue is an That's what she's done in the past. She's ran and directed and coordinated many fundraisers before, and she brought the idea and the fundraiser to my platform, and she used my platform as a means to do that. So I don't know what you're talking about, but that's not true.
Not to mention that Sue has admitted to all of that herself. So you're even going against what Sue has said herself from her own mouth. So it doesn't matter what you're putting in the comments or what you heard. It doesn't really matter. So I would just stop. You don't have the truth. You don't know the truth. So, I mean, I don't understand how you are actually arguing with the person who did it. So that admitted to it. All of it.
It's not on screen recording. I'm so sorry, but you're lying, and it's okay. It's okay. You can believe what you want, but I have the proof. We all have the proof, and
I muted him, so
have a nice night.
they're not going to stop.
No, they're not.
They're still listening, but Sue literally admitted everything. Yeah, I don't know what else other people want. They just want to blame Casey, like just whatever they can do to blame her, but whatever. She did admit to all of it. Yep.
Yeah.
People are going to think what they think. Exactly. We knew that the haters are going to hate. But what we are trying to do the right thing by everybody. We have all filed reports with the FBI. So we would everyone is welcome to do the same. She's taken accountability. So that's really all we can do. And one of the first lies I caught her in myself was there was a particular person that was emailing about an item. Sue said it was mailed the day before. And then so we responded to her email and said, Sue said it was mailed yesterday. Here's the information. And then 3 days later, she sends I get a notification on my phone to the so-called mess email that she emailed again following up. So I clicked on the notification to go into our so-called mess email, and the email was gone. So then I go into the trash, I open, and it's in the trash. I clicked to open it to see what it said. I screenshotted it, closed out of my screenshot, and it had been permanently deleted. So there was definitely something going on. That there was more to it than we even probably still don't know the truth. And when we confronted her, she said it wasn't her, but it was within 1 minute of that email being sent, it was permanently deleted. And no one else would delete that email or have a reason to delete it. It was because we were hounding her and catching her. And she was trying to hide it.
Yeah.
Bethy, I'm really sad that you didn't sing that when you said it. 'Cause the haters gonna hate.
I didn't even think about that.
That's all I came up here to say, really. She said that, and I was like, why didn't she sing it for me? And you guys, of course, Tiger Lily, you could ask a question. You guys, I just want everybody to know who's worried about Casey. We check on her very regularly. She's never alone. We're with her a lot of the day. So I know Alamina's worried about her, but I promise you she has a crew, and I do mean a crew of people who are checking in on her and making sure that things are going okay, especially when other lives are going on where there's some bullshit being said. So I'm just going to call it like I see it, bullshit.
Right.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, Bethy.
Okay, I'm sorry to bother you, Tiffany. I have
No,
a
you're not bothering me at
question,
all. Go ahead, girl.
and please, I have been struggling for quite a while. When a lot of stuff went down, I backed away. So I have a question, and it's all regarding with Sue. And it goes back about a month and a half ago. And I know a lot of you because it was a very late night that night, and it was on Black Sheep's Live. I was driving home that night from work, was listening. So a lot of stuff was going down in that chat, and the attacks were after Sue about refunds. People weren't getting refunds, people weren't getting their stuff. So then Sue comes on there, and of course, there were other people from this group that were in there. And, you know, I felt that a lot of people, the mods, didn't listen to your group who stood by you. That's me personally, my opinion, that you weren't listening to them when they're saying, hey, we're not getting our money. And I understand they're going to you. And yes, it was Sue, but I guess because we all came to know you guys, knowing we paid Sue, but being you guys were the mods, you were you could be in contact with Sue, even though Sue said, yeah, I'll refund you this and that, but nobody got anything. And then you guys were getting bogged down from everybody saying, hey, why aren't we getting our stuff? And obviously that should have been a red flag at that point, not waiting till it got to a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, please. That's not how I'm trying to come across with this. I feel bad for everybody, even in myself. We all were fooled. We all were. And I will tell you this because I just got scammed out of $200 just the other day. And thank God I realized it, but there's nothing I can do about getting that $200. There's nothing I can do about getting my $450. I can file an FBI report, but what is that going to do? Nothing. I hope and pray for Sue's well-being, but she needs to be held accountable. She does have two beautiful children. In Casey, she said last night, and I don't know if anybody else got it regarding these contracts, when she was talking, she backstepped herself and said, oh, wait a minute, it's two contracts. So just be aware of that because she already backpedaled and said it's two because she just got it and she can't answer it while she's while she was on live. And the one was supposedly for her to be there for a year. That's her second one. Now, if she's fabricating these, what do you call it? The shipping labels, which is bullshit. It didn't cost her 200, whatever. She had a shipping label printer. It doesn't cost her shit to print them. I know that. And I'm not even, don't ship out, but I already know because you get a printing machine. You can turn around and she was going through her, what was the pirate ship and just getting, fraudulent refunds back on that. In the shipping, all the stuff that was sent, people paid for shipping. It didn't come out of her pocket. That's the other thing. It didn't come out of her pocket. It came out of everybody else's when they bought the tickets because it was including shipping.
Right.
And I'm sorry for everybody. I do. I feel bad for everybody who got scammed. And I do hope she pays for the consequences. I wish in my heart that a while back that you listened to your group, that you could have trusted your group. And I feel, me personally, this is my personal opinion, I'm not going to break down, that you should have listened to your group. When people were saying, hey, listen, something's fishy. But I know you also were going through other stuff from other things. Also, I was at work at a lot of times too, so I didn't hear a lot of your lives at that time, only on my days off and stuff. I get that, but you should have trusted your group. And that's just me personally speaking out, that I feel you should have trusted us when people were saying, hey, especially that night. Oh, my cat, sorry. He just went flying over my back. The night that that stuff went down, that went till 3 o'clock in the morning, my time, regarding Sue. And I know a lot of people were in there that listened and heard it, but you guys stuck up for Sue and not your group. And I'm sorry.
Well, yes, and I apologize that we did stand up for Sue, but you also have to realize I only got maybe five messages from people, and emails that were sent were deleted by Sue. Anyone else that might have commented in the comments or anything of that nature, she would lie and say that she already sent it. She would always give an excuse and a reason. And I understand we believed her, and I do apologize that, even though, yes, we were lied to, and you know, we didn't know any better. But I do apologize for that, because I hate that me trusting her hurt anyone else. But I will say that I didn't even know until those lives were happening that any money had been raised for cameras. Never knew. Had no
Correct.
clue.
You weren't there. You weren't there.
Yeah,
And I will
not
say
yet.
that because I was on, when she came on, you were not on the live.
Right.
And she said verbatim that she bought some boxes, that she was putting some boxes of goodies for you. And she was going to put a security camera in there for you because of, I can't remember what the reason for it was.
Right.
So, of course, people wanted to help.
Right.
Now, she did not ask to donate. It's the way she worded it to get people to help.
Right.
I was one of them. And I turned around and said, oh, great, because, you know, whatever it was that happened at your home that day that you were, you know, that the way she worded it, that you were really, really scared and that she needs to get these cameras to you right away. And of course, the way she worded it made it sound like, hey, but she also included that there were going to be some goodies that she also was sending you. She didn't say what was in those boxes. So I was like, oh, okay, well, hell, I'll help, you know. So I reached out through the Cash App and sent her the money through the Cash App, and not realizing, you know, other people. And she, you know, she turned around and said, oh, thank you. And, you know, so forth. And then I also donated because I know what it's like for people when people who don't have a lot of money, but they want to be involved. They want to be part of it. And that's why I donated out of my heart for them, because I've been there before and where I couldn't afford it. And so, you know, I was like, oh, okay, so we'll do $100. And I know that it got put out there that day because I was at work when I did it, and, you know, which was fine because I get it. But then I turned around and donated another 100 in the tickets, donated those out to help other people, and then another $50. But she lied because you weren't there, Casey. You didn't know about the cameras. But then after a month, people started asking, did you get your cameras? And you're like, what cameras?
Yeah, and we would
you
even
did.
ask her. We would even ask her and say, "Where's the camera?" She was like, "It's in that box. I know, I've sent one box already. I'm not sure if the whole system was in there or not. I'm not sure exactly what all was in there. But I'm planning to go this weekend so I can go to the protest. So I'm just going to take the box this weekend." Every time we asked, and then the same way with, you said she didn't come right out and ask for a donation.
Correct. She didn't. She brought it up.
Right. And that's how she would, you know, that's the same thing that would happen with us. Even with like refunds, you know, she's like, you know, I'm refunding these people all this money. I put $700 out today. You know, don't feel like you gotta, but if you want to contribute, you know, that's fine, but don't feel like you got to. Or same way with a lawyer. And so I do understand what you're saying.
I have a question. What do you mean real mod should have contacted Casey? What do you mean by that? No, I never met her in person ever. She said that said she had a lawyer. She said that she needed money she said it was 4,000 for a retainer, and that the lawyer had already done some things, and then she said she owed the lawyer 7,000, and she said that she said it was for all of the people on TikTok that were coming after her for her not doing what she was supposed to do.
So you're saying that she went and got a lawyer because of the night that everybody attacked her? Is that what I'm getting?
She lied and said that she did. She never had a lawyer. She admitted to never having a lawyer, and she never owed this lawyer 7,000, but she asked the mods for donations to help with her lawyer.
Well, I am very, very sorry for that.
I would like to say something addressed. Candace, I hope you're still in here. I would like to apologize because that was me that used your full name, and I apologize for that. I did not mean to do that. I thought I was muted because I was on something else also talking, and I do apologize for that. But your address situation, I do know when I downloaded the spreadsheet straight from Zephy, so whatever was put in for Zephy, there were 2 different addresses that were in there, and I don't know how the 2 addresses got in there, so I just want to clear that up. Also, I think a lot of times people were paying with like PayPal or something that they might not use very often, and it had an old mailing address. I actually had Kim Fisher, I think that's her last name. I think she's on here as that. I'm not sure. Anyways, she won something from a donated item that I donated items to the auction. She won something, and I was not a mod at the time, but I was asking for addresses so that I could ship my items out. And I shipped everything out. And when I shipped, I used it's similar to Pirate Ship, but it wasn't Pirate Ship. But I put, if I had an email address for somebody, I put their email address in there so that it would email them the tracking numbers for what I was shipping out. Well, she reached out because she saw the email and said, I never received my item. And it wasn't probably about 3 or 4 days before that, I had just gotten it back, and I had asked in the live. I'm sorry, Kim. That's her right there, Kim 205. Anyways, she emailed me and told me that, she didn't get the item, and I said, yes, I had it back, and I shipped it to the correct address. I got the address from her, and I shipped it out to the correct address, and she received the item from me. But I think a lot of that, I know there's a lot of talk going on about we ran backgrounds and she was running background checks, and that's how honestly, that it's not true. That's not where she was getting addresses from.
Okay, so I have a question. So I know where they're talking about with addresses. During the group chat, and I can't tell you how many times, like we've brought that up before, all these forms that we had to fill out with our TikTok name, our Facebook name, our address. Now, the first time, it was supposedly trying to whatever with the mole. Now, the second time was during the second or third auction. So it was easier to find the person when they got the item, how to mail it out, is why we had to fill out that form. Now, who had all that information that had our TikTok names, our address, our Facebook, what was all that for? Truthfully.
The first time that a form even came out was when Black Sheep was a part of the mods. She suggested that we had a form to keep people, to be able to know who was on Facebook, because people's names on Facebook was different than their names on TikTok, and that's how it started. We never asked for anybody to fill out any more forms. We would put the form in there and we would tell people, if you've not filled out the form, please fill out the form. People who have already filled out the form, you do not have to fill out the form again. The second time that we adjusted the form and we had an address portion on there, we told people, if you want to fill the form out again, to give us your address in case you are going to be purchasing items or whatnot, so that we already have your address, then you're more than welcome to do that. But it was never a requirement to do. But yeah, the form was only originally for us to know who on TikTok was who on Facebook, because we had people had different names, and there was a lot of people that were coming into the group with negative intentions. But as far as access to that form, Sue had access to that form early on, and then a few other mods ended up having access to it, but it was only to be able to see who was who on Facebook.
Okay, because I do know that in one of them in the group, it was stating that if you didn't, blah, 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 whatever, you'd be out with it. But it's like, whatever. But I do know that it was to help, because you guys, on the very first auction, I believe, people had got stuff, but you guys were having a hard time, like, how to send it to them. And this was before the tickets and all of that, because you guys were having a hard time figuring out who got what and whose address, because it was the first time that it was done. Then this came out and they said it was to help so you don't run into the problem that you had that. So being that Sue was running the auction, that means then she would have had everybody's information. Is that correct? And I'm only asking that because I know a lot of people last night were concerned about that. About Sue having everybody's addresses.
Well, as far as I know, whatever she had on her end, I assume she had the addresses. So it was only for people to put their address on there if it was someone who was going to be purchasing items that wanted to go ahead and give us their address, so that she didn't have to reach out to people for their address. And to respond back to Wild and Sunny Racing, I didn't address that part. I never said we didn't tell people that they were going to be removed from the group if they didn't fill out the form. But yes, absolutely. The original form without the address, that was absolutely correct. We required that to be a part of the private group so that we could protect the people that were in there. It was never a requirement to fill out the address portion. It was only a requirement to put your TikTok name and your Facebook name. That was all we actually required. That way we could just keep track of the people that were in there.
Right, but it also, I'm going to say it was stated in the group chat, not in the group chat, not out, like out on a live or anything, but it was stated to be put in there. It didn't say that you had the option of putting the address, but it was to help for the people for this last auction because of the issue of the first auction. But I guess, like I said, it doesn't matter anymore. But I think what I'm saying is for the people, for the group, is a lot of people are afraid because she had that information. And now this is coming out as of last night. Everybody's hearing about this. So I'm just saying, in concern of her having everybody's information. I mean, it doesn't matter Facebook or TikTok. It's, I guess, their home address. Who's to say what she can do with it?
Yes, she does have the addresses based on the information that we have, where she sent us all of the spreadsheets from things that she had addresses on here in the last week when she finally decided she was going to send those items. I know the Zeffy, when you purchase tickets, Tiger Lily, I'm sure you know this, when you purchase tickets, I think it asked for an address, a billing address on there or something when you purchase tickets. So there were addresses included in there. And I do understand everybody's concern about her having that. I don't know what we can do about that unless she does something to someone or attempts to do something, because just having that is not enough. That's not considered a crime because everybody purchased stuff and gave addresses because we all thought she was a good person.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course, I mean, we're definitely going to be honest with everybody. I think that we all hate that she has so much access to information that she has access to. I do want to say, as far as what you paid with, to the best of my knowledge, she had PayPal, Cash App, Zeffy. You can pay a PayPal invoice with Venmo, an invoice, but all of those, yes, please fill out the IC3 form. We all have, and you should definitely do that. But all of those third-party payment vendors like that, she does not have access to anyone's full credit card number or anything like that. It's all X'd out. It's only like the last 4 digits of any account numbers that's ever shared with a purchaser. So she does not have, go to ic3.gov, Berlina. I'll put it in the chat for you. She doesn't have access to the payment information.
And also, at that night that she was in, when everybody confronted her and they were talking about going after her Etsy shop, she shut it right down. She shut that down that night.
I have another thing to tell you too. The day that she claimed to send the money out, she dissolved her business.
Actually, the state of Georgia dissolved it because she didn't pay her fees or whatever that's due. Yeah. If you go online, it's the state of Georgia dissolved her business that day. But it's just ironic that, the day that she told us the check was sent out was the exact day that her business was dissolved.
Hello.
Hey, Greta.
Just to touch on the address situation, I don't, and I understand people's concerns, but I don't think people fully understand how many websites there are out there that I can go to and I can find any name you've ever used, any last name you've ever had. This is not a background check. This is just information that they will list out. Your date of birth, any cell phone number that's ever been tied to you, any address you've ever lived at, um, family members, people that you have any association with. They'll list your neighbors, they'll list your social media accounts, email addresses. Some of them will show, like, if you have license or permits for such as like a fishing license, things like that, just different license that you can have. So I don't think people fully understand how vulnerable you are anyways. Everything is there. I can type in a phone number and find out where you live. And I'm not saying this as a threat. This is just information only. Because, when we hire potential employees, I go over things with a fine tooth comb. And, it has so much information. And I don't think people understand that. Even if you go in under an alias, if anything pings back to you whatsoever on that account, it will show up on some of these reports. So I just kind of want to add that because I know there's a lot of people panicking,
Right.
but in reality, when you get on these social media platforms,
Right.
you are opening yourself up to anybody being able, with just a little bit of knowledge, can track you down.
Yeah.
So it's just a risk you take when you go out on social media. There's no 100% way to keep yourself anonymous.
Right.
And that's just all I wanted to share.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Thanks. Okay, can you drop me down because I don't know what I'm doing.
Sure. Have a good night.
You too.
Hi, Cassie. I just wanted to say something on what with Greta was saying. I randomly searched my name the other night, and you literally can find all my past addresses, my phone number. I mean, anything but my credit card or bank account information. But I just want to say I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I've been following you since the beginning. It just made me so upset for you. But I want you to know that I support everything that you've been doing. I love you so much.
Oh, I love
And
you.
even though you don't know me, you've made an impact on me in the so-called Nest group that I just love everything that you do.
Thank you.
I don't know how to
love
get
you,
off
but I
here
love you
now.
like that.
But I just wanted to say that because you never truly know anything that's going on. And not that I've ever had anything happen to me, but for people to be so mad that their information, their address was put in your Facebook group, that wasn't a requirement on the form. It was literally just your social media, and that was it. I know I never put mine in there, but you literally can just Google my name and you can find anything you want to. So, and don't want everyone to be mad at Cassie or anything. Just remember that social media in general is just a bad thing. Google is a bad thing. You post one thing on social media, your whole information's out there. You sign up for an account, your whole information's out there. So thank you for letting me up here and letting me speak, Cassie. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I love you too.
I don't know how to get down, so
I'll take you down.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And she can come back anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Yes, we love that. People that don't usually come up. Also, we don't know fully who all sent money to Sue or how much you sent to her for various reasons. I saw in a comment tonight, because I know I went hard for her on live one night, taking up for her after the accusations started coming out about a month ago, because she was telling us that she was refunding people constantly every day. And I knew that she had spent a lot of money out of her pocket on resin stuff and all that stuff. So, I was taking up for her on live. And some of the people in that live that night told me, in comments that they felt bad and wanted to donate, so they would reach out to her privately. So I asked her, had anybody done that? And she told me no, but apparently some did. So, we don't know unless, you want to share that with us, not on this live, in the chat, because we have no way of saving that to know. But if you want to send proof or whatever and I mean, we can like kind of add that to the list of, you know, money that was given.
Yeah, there's definitely no telling who all. I mean, unless they reach out to us, but
Hey, ladies.
Yes, Brandy, we did.
Immediately we did, Brandy. Yes. No access. The access was cut off immediately. When I saw that email had been deleted, Casey went in and changed the email. Yes.
Oh yeah, before she had even admitted anything, like that she admitted, you know, before we found out that the email was fabricated to the accountant and all that, before any of that, she got deleted. The password was changed immediately.
hi, Tina.
Yeah, the email. Hey, the email that Bethany was explaining, it makes a lot of sense because I had reached out numerous of times to Sue herself about a charm. I got the charm bracelets where you can order the individual pieces to get. The only thing I ever ordered, I had started feeling like things were a little weird. None of the emails were being responded, so I actually reached out to Cassie just a few days ago, just a couple of days ago it was. And I figured after last night's live, I probably didn't get the response because this was coming out. Looking at this last night, I was speechless. I couldn't even say anything in the comments. All I could do, I was outside, paced the driveway, like, I can't even believe this. This was a shock that I think a lot of, like, probably nobody even seen coming other than people that speculate. Oh, I knew something was going on, blah, blah, blah. Those are just people that are just full of shit and like to stir the pot.
Right.
So you said, I truly believe that y'all didn't know any of this was going on. I was so hurt. I didn't expect Sue, of all people, would do something like this. And the amount of money that was raised and for the cause that it was raised for, to take it away from Micah. It's so hurting.
Yeah.
And I've watched tonight and I've gotten into the comments. That's one thing I've always preached, and I preach to my kids. I'd rather you hurt somebody with the truth than tell somebody a lie. I do not care how big a lie is. Once you tell one, you're going to have to tell another one and another one. And before you know it, it's going to catch up to you because you're not going to remember what you started with at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then a thief, they're about on the same level. I cannot stand neither one of them. Mm-hmm. One of my questions, y'all say it's a IC3, so you just go to an FBI website. I really hate to do that. I've never had to do that to nobody. And I've thought about it since last night. And I'm like, you know what? A lot of people's made a point. You're going to have to hold her accountable. Somebody's going to have to. And I hate to do it. I hate to see her go through it. I know she has children. But if we don't stop her now, how many other people is she going to do this to?
Right. Exactly.
So it's ic3.gov. I put it in the chat, but I can't pin because we have a panel. But okay. That's what it is. It's the letter IC and then the number 3.gov. And that's where you can
type in like FBI and then that was a form you'd go to underneath it, or if that was specifically the website.
No, that's specifically the website.
Okay. And then yeah, I was a little concerned about the addresses, and the only thing is because a lot of people on social media do not use their real names. I am not, for one, worried about anybody ever coming by my house. I'll tell you straight here, with 205 people that I can see in this chat, you would be a damn fool.
Yeah, you got that right. You got that right. You'd be looking at the wrong end of a barrel.
Won't come to
I'm going to tell you, I sit on this porch till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You can come on by and try to catch somebody slipping if you want to, and we're going to catch you slipping around here, I promise you. I don't sleep much.
Hey, Cassie, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, somebody was just talking about that live that Sue was in or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I commented it just now in the chat or whatnot that I was in the comments, and I was listening to what everything she was explaining, and I felt a vibe off of her that I didn't really think that was right, but I was like, I'm not gonna judge. I'm just gonna like, cause I don't know this lady. I was like, I don't know, but what the things that she was saying, it was just, she was, she would say something, but then she would say something to cover up what she just said. Like it just didn't. The dots A to B to C was not connecting. The dots were not connecting in my mind, and I was like, well, I mean, I just ooh. Because she was, I'm not gonna say, because I don't know exactly all what's going on, y'all. I just now jumped in here and I don't know what's going on, but I did get a feeling from her. She wasn't really telling the truth. Like she was just saying things that didn't make sense. And that's why I say I don't think she was telling the truth, because it didn't add up. She would say one thing, but then it would flip and change to something else. And I was just like, oh my God.
Let me ask you something. Your impression of Sue when she was on panel was she knew a lot, right? She was very smart.
Yeah. She was.
And so how I was started to pick up on when we really started pressing her, because we loved her. We didn't want her to think that we were lying, but we had to press her, right? Because it was getting to the point where, like, what is going on? This is affecting everybody and we need to know what's happening.
Right.
And when we pressed, all of a sudden it was, well, I don't know how that works. Like the sending a check in the mail.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yes.
And she contradicted herself, because she would say that she didn't know where to where to send the money, to cut the check and where to send the money to, because she hadn't got the confirmation from the Francis family of the organization or whatnot to send the money. But then she came back and said she was talking and she blurted out, and it was like, well, now you just said something totally opposite. Because she said, well, when, I can, like, yeah, I'll cut the check and send it to the organization, but you just said that you didn't know where to send it to. You got confirmation, but you now are saying, you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was,
Exactly.
and I wasn't involved. Like, Cassie, I've been following, she's been letting me up on the panel ever since all this started. And, I try to keep out of the drama, but I do, like, I get in lives. I don't get in panels all the time, but I'll get in the chat and I'll listen. And I'm like, I pick up on things because she acted very smart.
Right.
But then it was like,
when we questioned about the certified mail check, that's when I was like, red flags were going big time, where I was like, oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. When she started saying that the check was an attempt to be delivered and it was going to be delivered again in 2 days. And then we were like, what's the tracking number? Oh, I'll get it to you. And then the next day, what's the tracking number? Oh, I got to go upstairs. I got to get back to my computer. I got to do this. Nothing. And we would be like, can somebody else say something? Because I feel like a broken record, right? And then it would be, and then we're like, that doesn't make sense that the letter went back to Jacksonville. Why would it go to Jacksonville? It's supposed to go to South Carolina. And then she'd be like, well, I don't know how the post office works.
and also in that live, she was saying about Cassie, like the cameras or something, Cassie, something about that what you were supposed to receive, and then she was like, yeah, there's so many boxes, and I was just like, what the devil? Like, I am, I'm lost. I'm like, this lady does not make sense to me. I just got a bad vibe.
In country and Tigers on point. I was also in that live and I heard it.
Did you? Okay,
She did sound very smart, but she was all over the place with one thing to the next with the
There
money.
you go. That's why I said the dots, like
Yep.
A to B, to C to D, they were not, the dots were not connecting. And I just, because I listen very good and I can pick up on, because I've been through a lot of narcissistic relationships, and I understand how you being manipulated, and I can pick up on lies. I can pick up on when somebody's lying. Because for one, if you're going to start out with a lie, you better keep track of what you said to one person to the next person, because your story will change eventually, because that's how it all works. Karma will come back and bite you in the ass. Oop, I didn't mean to cuss, but in curse, I am in curse, y'all. But y'all, it's the truth.
But also on that live, a lot of people got to experience how good she was at explaining herself and convincing people. A lot of people walked away from that live going, "Oh, okay, I get it now." And that's what she was doing to us behind the scenes as well. And she was very good at explaining herself with confidence, and she convinced a lot of people on that live that she was fulfilling her word. I will tell you, I'm a mod. I have been stolen from, and I have never received my items from her. But I didn't want to press because I wanted everybody else to get their stuff first. And so anytime we saw a comment in a live, an email, or whatever, we would screenshot it and send it in our group chat. What's the status? And we would get the runaround. And it was every day for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks.
So, like, Tina and Bethany, okay, so do y'all remember, like, oh Lord, it was right on the tip of my tongue before you started talking. She said something about she had okay, she's a single mother, and I understand. I'm a divorced. Why? Whatever. I'm divorced, but with 2 kids. Okay, but anyway, that doesn't matter. But she was, I understand. She has 2 children or whatever. But she also said she had an accountant that handles her books, and that she was doing the things for the fundraiser out of her own pocket. Did y'all hear that?
You never had an accountant.
Okay. But did y'all hear that? I know I won't, I won't 10 sheets in the wind that night. I know what I was hearing.
You ain't crazy, honey. You ain't crazy.
Well, honey, I really am, but, I understood that night. I understood the assignment to listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another
Even though
thing
she was a
that
little
tripped me out.
flip-floppy, as Bethany said, she did snowball me because I was fully in believing her by the time that live was over. So when Bethany said that, you're right, she did. She had made a lot of people, because I'm telling you, it hit me in my gut so hard last night listening, I wanted to throw up.
I missed that live. Oh, Lord. Well, maybe I didn't need to be. I was. I'm so glad. I'm glad that I come across this live tonight, because I hadn't seen Cassie in forever on live, and I was like, okay, here she is. All right, okay, well, all right, let's go. And I was listening, and I was like, oh Lord, I remember that live I heard. I was like, okay, let me join.
But she was also taking money for the stuff that she was making when everybody was donating things. She was donating her items to the auction for the fam. Yet on her spreadsheet that we finally got from her, she was deducting money from it for products, which was bullshit.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Would always say, go ahead.
I one question. Has the Francis family received the money from that fundraiser?
No, she spent it.
No.
Every motherfucking dime.
Y'all are, Okay, I'm gonna mute myself for a minute. Let me say my words. Hold on.
Casey, Renee has been asking in the chat multiple times, what did the family say? Could you address that?
Okay.
Okay, they were not happy. They were shocked, angry, hurt, betrayed. I mean, and that's basically all I can say. I do know that I've been reached out by Abel, and even Anne came in the comments last night, and she said that Angelita had said to her that it was all Sue and that Sue owned up to it. Abel sent me the most wonderful, sweet message apologizing to me and saying how sorry he felt that we were taken advantage of, that he's very angry and pissed off at Sue for doing what she did. But yeah, I mean, they were angry, hurt, betrayed. Understandably.
We did say weeks ago it was donated because she told us it was. And actually, let me start back. Somebody, I think Tina maybe had said this just a minute ago, or somebody, I don't remember. But anyway, she did on that lives, was telling she was waiting on the nonprofit or whatever to come on. And I think Casey looked that up today, and we just did get that the EIN number and all that in the bank, saying the bank account had been set up in September. So September the 10th. So soon as that was set up, that's when we asked her to send a check. We need you to send a check today. Soon as the email was sent, or the message was sent over that the account was set up, we asked her to send the check. So she says she sent it on the 12th or the 13th.
Yeah, I think it was the
13th because the 12th was a Sunday. So
right.
She said she sent it the 13th.
12th was a Thursday.
No, the 12th was a Thursday. Yeah, the 12th was a Thursday, which is when she said she sent it. The 12th was a Thursday, which is when she said she sent it, but she fabricated the email and put Sunday, September the 12th, when Sunday was not September 12th.
So does she live in Jacksonville, y'all, North Carolina?
No. I mean, we were already questioning it because so many people getting their stuff, and we were like pounding, like, we would say, well, you go in there and ask her about it. You go in there and ask her about it. Each mod would go and ask her about somebody's items or, something, the spreadsheet that we need or whatnot. And, we would just get the same stuff every time. And so that's really when she, I was already questioning that, but when she said that the accountant had sent out the check and they had asked her about the tracking, and she said, well, I'm not home right now. When I get home, I'll send the tracking. And we never got that. But then, like, the next day, she said, well, the accountant said that it was attempted to be delivered, but nobody was there to sign it, so it got sent back to Jacksonville. And I'm like, Jacksonville? Why in the hell would it be in Jacksonville, North Carolina, or Florida? Neither one are near South Carolina where the check was going.
Exactly.
So that's when, I think all of us was like, something's wrong. We really think something is wrong. So, we were reaching out to each other saying something's not right. And, of course she was saying, well, I don't work for the USPS. I don't know how that works. But I'm like, well, it wouldn't go. It would go back. It would go to her local, whoever the address was that she was supposed to send the check to. It would go to their local post office and be attempted to deliver again. And if it wasn't able to be delivered, then it would be she would have to go to the post office and sign for it.
I wasn't involved in all this. I just been following Cassie for a while now, but this is devastating for y'all, but it's to the Francis family. This lady did something indespicable to somebody that lost their life, and y'all were trying to do a good thing. and all this drama started on TikTok, and it was ridiculous. It was like nonsense. And now look, you got a snake in the grass that fooled everybody. Well, fooled fooled everybody. You know, and I hate that. I hate it. I really do.
One of the things I said to her, and this was right before she confessed, I said, Sue, I said, you need to be honest with us right now. And I said, and don't you teach your kids about honesty?
Right.
And then she finally told us the truth. I mean, we knew in our hearts, but we needed to hear it out of her mouth. And then
y'all had that feeling, the feeling I got when I heard her, like talking. I just got that weird, like that feeling, that gut feeling. Like something was off with her. It hurt. I was like, oh Lord, I don't even. That was the first time I ever knew who was behind making the bracelets or whatnot, like stuff like that. Because I didn't know. But.
But see, so many people outside of her even offered to help make stuff. Like even G Queen. G Queen does all kinds of T-shirts and mugs and all that. She offered to make stuff, and Sue was like, "No, I got it." We offered to go down there and ship stuff out, and she was like, "No, I got it. I'm sending it out tomorrow."
Did y'all hear her say in that live that was like she had her regular job and she was doing that on the side, that wasn't her main focus of doing the fundraiser. It was like that was just like she did it.
It was a hobby.
Yeah, there you go. Like she said she loved doing it or whatever, whatnot, but she had her other business that she had to do, and I was like,
how would you feel if we told you she ain't had a job and she's not had a job in quite some time?
With 2 kids?
Yes.
Okay. So that was a fabrication of the story. She was telling. She was storytelling. She was making up stuff. I'm trying to be nice on him. She won't telling the truth.
She would tell us, "I'll get it to you. I'll get this to you, but I have meetings with some clients. I'll get this and that to you. I have this with clients day after day." And we're like, and then at one point we said, "Sue, do you have a job?" I think Casey asked her, and she said no.
Hell no, she don't. Scamming's her fucking job.
She did scamming people behind the computer.
Her thing was all her resin. If you remember from the beginning, she was posting or showing all her resins because that's how this kind of started. And we're like Casey was like, "Oh, I got some paintings," and other people, and that's how like the first thing started, like when she showed the checkerboards. So what her business was is that she was in the resin business doing all of that. Just because when I first joined TikTok, I came across a live because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and it was cup making, and it was fascinating. So I learned a lot, and I was like, dang. And I'm also a guilty person who bought a lot of, cups, and I thought this would be a good business to get into. But because I have such what do you call it, my skin, it's very sensitive, so I obviously would not be able to do resin. So I know how the resin works. I know how much it costs for a gallon of resin. So all this stuff is what her business was prior to coming on here that she made, and her business probably dropped off. So that was all the stuff that she had. So that was how she got in with this, and that's probably what her job was at that time, to support her kids. And obviously it dropped off because it got inundated. The cup world, everything, it got inundated. Glitter, all of that, it's got inundated. So, a lot of creators. So there's a lot of people you could go to. You're scrolling through TikTok and you find all these lives. So I bet you that's where all her stuff, and that's how that, when she saw the group, saw what we were in for, because it's like someone just said, she never talked about Micah Miller.
Nope.
And when we were talking about it, she jumped into the box. The subject changed to
Look at this.
her
Look at
resin
this. Look
items.
at this.
Yes, yes.
But she lives in South Carolina, though, right?
No,
Georgia.
No,
she lives in
Georgia.
Georgia.
Oh, shut the front door and the back door. Okay. Okay.
You know what else,
But
Countrylicious?
but it's
She
like you
faked a
said,
whole
like
ass relationship
Tina
with a
and
porn
everybody.
star too.
Huh?
Okay, so
She faked
I
a
will
whole.
say last night, I will say in a different light, Sue needs to be held accountable. Yes, she has 2 children. She was asked if her 2 children will be safe if anything does happen. And she said yes. And I pray to God that is the truth. Apparently, there were several addictions that she told you guys that she had. There was a person that had come into this live. Yes, we know what these addictions were. And I hope she gets help with that while she is being held accountable, because she does have an illness and it's an addiction. And I don't wish that on anybody, but I do hope she does. I have no compassion for her, but I do hope that she does get help, because she needs that. But she has to own up, and she's the only one that has to go through that. We all can't force her to do that. We can't make her do that. But hopefully, in the process, that she will get help. Now, supposedly, she's seeing a counselor, what she said, twice a week last night for these addictions, that she's an outpatient. Is that true?
That's what she says. Outpatient.
We can only
So
go
hopefully
by
she's
what
getting
she
help by
says.
that.
We can only
Right.
go by
But
what she says. I mean, is it true? We have no clue.
But and I shouldn't even ask this because I don't want TikTok to. Are her children are they taken care of? Like, or is everything okay with the kids? Put it like that. Is
As
everything
far as
okay
we
with
know,
the kids?
yes. As
Okay.
far as we know.
But Tiger Lily said she needs to be held accountable for what she has done. You pay for your actions.
Mm-hmm.
You do something so fraudulent and so like horrible. You pay. You have to pay for your consequences.
Whether it's a penny, whether it's $1,000,
There you.
it is somebody else's penny. That
There
is
you go.
not yours. Now, I'm in a better state than I am tonight. Than last night, because I was so emotional, because it just hits me. But I'm telling you right now, a penny to 1,000, it doesn't matter. It wasn't yours to take.
Amen.
There
It was
you
the
go.
family's.
I totally
Amen to
agree.
that.
So I'm going to tell you. Oh, this is going to be hard. Okay. My stepson, and I had a lot of issues with him, he was sent to be with his uncle, and there were some reasons why he was sent to his uncle's. So when his aunt got him a job at Walmart, and he started skimming, what do you call those, the gift cards. Anything over $500 is a federal offense.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And it doesn't matter what state.
There you go. You're right. Yeah.
And it's going to be on her record for the rest of her life.
And just maybe she won't do this to someone else. And that needs to be done. We don't want anybody going through the pain and the suffering and the sickness and the rabbit holes and you name it. We don't want nobody going through this ever again, ever.
So, like Cassie, has she apologized to sincerely to to y'all, to the group, that because I wasn't involved in
And to
the
be
group.
honest with you, no, she did not. And I'm sorry that may be
It was not
negative,
genuine.
but she didn't.
Okay.
She said the words, but no, I don't.
No emotion.
No.
Emotionless.
It was probably, oh, I'm sorry, but when you say
I'm
but,
sorry I got caught.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I scammed every fucking body.
I got emotional talking to her about it when we were having some of our long conversations with her because of all of you. I said to her that there were some people who were waiting for their next paycheck because they wanted to donate to the family.
right?
And some people are just trying to get through the month and they still bought a ticket for $10 and you took that from them. And then I also said, if you would have been honest, you had the most amazing group of people that would have supported you and helped you, and we've loved you, and we've had your back, and we've defended you, and you lost all of it. And I feel sorry. I feel sorry that you lost all of that. I really do, because if we had known what you were dealing with behind the scenes, we would have surrounded you and loved you and helped you if you had not betrayed us so bad. And it got, but it's to the point where it's too many lies covered up, and then it's a truth covered up with more lies. And so it's too much. Like, it just is too much. We can't. So that's why,
Can I ask a question, Cassie? If you guys can answer, I don't know the total amount, but was it like I would say like 5 figures? That means like 2 digits, a common three numbers after.
Yeah, it was over 10,000.
Okay, let me mute. Hold on.
And I don't know if you heard me, NC Countrylicious,
I love her.
but she faked a whole ass fucking relationship with a porn star.
Yeah, somebody just told me about. Tell me about the fake, and I'm like, oh Lord,
Faked a
oh.
whole ass
From the very
relationship.
she introduced herself to us. She said she was dating her. She would pretend to be on the phone with us and
Went to
pretended
get
that
food for her.
woman came down and visited her and was pretending that she went out to get food for them. The woman never was dating her. She was actually paying her for her to be talking to her.
Okay.
So does
That's
pictures
where
of
some of the money
her.
went. Yes, ma'am.
Y'all,
Pictures
this
hanging
lady,
in her bedroom of her.
this lady needs help, y'all. Mentally, she needs help.
Victoria, that was at a convention or something. It wasn't like a personal photo.
An adult entertainment convention.
Okay, well, I don't care what her, like, if she's freaky licky like that, whatever, but she has meant to fake that to pay somebody, probably using the money from the fundraiser to pay that person.
That was her on a backup account.
That was her on a backup account, and she admitted to doing that.
No, you know what? Hey, you know what? You reap what you sow, baby. I'm telling you. Hey, I've lifted. I got a testimony, and you will. And I ain't did nothing like that, but I've said words and hurt my family, hurt people, But I was in a bad place, going through a divorce or whatever. Anyway, look, I reaped what I sowed because I said things that hurt people, and you gotta apologize and hope they forgive you. But I tell you what, this lady here, I don't know her. I don't know her that like that, but mm-hmm. Yep. Put it God. Well, I ain't. I'm gonna just say this because my beliefs. God's gonna handle that situation, and it's gonna. It will. And I hate it because it did not. I don't know.
We
I
were
have.
not complicit. We absolutely 100% were not complicit.
Just it's like those children. I just hope somebody in her family or something, maybe if can like help with that with the children, because she needs to be held accountable for her actions. I'm sorry. I mean, this
I just
is.
want to speak real quick before I hop off. I know somebody they got a system program. They've got your first and last name. They can pull a complete background, more than you'll ever find just off the internet. I want to find out the police department where she's located because I want to file the police report there, because if you've paid through your bank or whatever, I know I can go to my bank for that charge as a fraud charge, because that's what it was, because I didn't receive an item. But I think I'm going to have to file a report with that police department in her area, take that to my bank to get my money back, and then contact the FBI, because the bank's going to give me my money. But then I think that's where it puts the bank going after her. And I know
Yes,
a lot of people have
We are.
lost.
Yeah.
Can I
I
address
did
that?
reach out to Bryan County, which is the county she lives in, Bryan County, Georgia. I spoke with the police department. I tried to file a report with the police department, and they told me that I would have to file in the city in which the money came from. So where I was located, that is where the transfer originated. So I would have to file with my local PD, and then they would have to communicate with her local PD.
Can you also address? So, yeah, they told us, so each person has to fill out the FBI form, the IC3.gov, and then each person, if you want to go to your local authorities and fill out the report, then they supposedly send it to her county. But with the cyber crimes and stuff, I'm hoping FBI is going to take over this. But everybody needs to fill it out, so we'll know exactly how much was sent to her. Also, can you tell them about Horry County? Mama Marie?
Can I ask? So for me, I went through Cash App. Do we have to have documentation when we go to the police department? Suppose, like you're saying, we have to go to our police department to file that report, and then also on to the FBI website.
Yes.
Do you have to show proof? So you're going to have to
You have to
physically, like
put
my Cash App.
Yep. Even on the FBI site, you're going to have to put like the your account number, like for your bank or whatever. You have to put all that in there of where the money went. I mean, where the money come from. Where you paid it to, and who you paid it to. Of course, it's
Okay,
going to
just
ask
so
her
that
bank
every
info, and you can only put like
right.
if you put Cash App or PayPal or however you paid her. We don't know exactly what bank she uses. We think maybe possibly USAA, but is that what it is, Marie? But we're not sure.
Right. It's just so everybody knows, because you're telling everybody to go to the FBI site, and then so everybody's going to go there. But then I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute, do you have to have documentation? So I want to make sure that everybody's aware to go to where you have to go to get that documentation, and like the email or whatever, however you have to do it to send it, or bring it into your local police department to file that report. They have that documentation. They can take that documentation, correct, and
Right.
then send it to her
Mm-hmm.
county.
Yep. And like
Yeah,
I said, when you
this is
filling out that
all.
FBI form, they're going to ask you the date and all that, and exactly how much you sent, and
Good
what
thing I
account it come
screenshotted.
out of. Yep.
People of the
And
page.
Oh
I
Lord,
was
there's
just gonna,
Panther. Lord
darn it, I
Jesus.
was just gonna say I'm going down because Panther's here. Darn it.
Lord, she went
She
down.
Beat
done got up
me.
here, said people of the page, and then got down. Lord Jesus.
Look. Yeah, I was just reading. Y'all, I know y'all were talking about the FBI stuff or whatever, but I was just
No,
reading
why
somebody's
did I keep doing
comment.
that?
It said somebody commented about this hurricane, but y'all, do y'all in that live? She was talking about how it was flooded and all this, and her fans had to be. She took her fans to somebody's house, and she needed her fans for the. And I was like, what? Like what? Like she is.
That was part of how she
Her
got away with
driveway
so
flooded. It
long.
wasn't her house. Her driveway flooded.
But yeah, she was saying like fans drying out. Yeah, she said no, the fans. She had fans or whatever. Yeah, it's been so long ago. But anyway, y'all, I remember that because somebody just said something about a hurricane, and I was like, oh, she was talking about that in that live about it, the storm and stuff and the flooding.
It was due to
She
a
did.
flood, and it was her
She
driveway that flooded, not her house.
Yeah, she did say that, and that was just, as we know now, that was just another setback to get people
Mm.
back off of her a little longer. Now, I do want to say with PayPal, I used to sell online from home, had a boutique. I did my shipping, my weighing, my packages, everything from here, and used PayPal. PayPal is very easy to get your money back if any of you used PayPal. They will back you. All you have to do is go back in there and do like the fraudulent charge that you never received your item. I've had things that I know for a fact that I've shipped and got. People can be shitty and they can put a claim in with PayPal and say, I didn't get it, even though they did get it. PayPal automatically will refund your money back. I shouldn't tell that on live because there are shitty people and people will do it, just get their items and still, it's basically to me stealing and I don't like it. And
So I do have a, sorry not to interrupt you. I do one question on the Cash App thing. I don't know if it was Bethany or whoever said that you guys got her Cash App closed down. Is that correct?
Well, we didn't mean
Somebody
to get
said it
her
last
clip.
night.
I personally put in for a scam because
Okay.
I sent in money. So to report it, it was, a refund and it's a scam. And then I guess other people that had did that too was a scam. And then that's when she said it got shut down. Will I ever see that money again? I don't
No,
know. I don't know.
we won't.
Gina, now we need to police
But
report and send that into Cash App.
well, it's
Those
all
should
been,
refund
that's what I'm
it.
saying. The reports are made along with that. Oh, hi, Marie. But Tina, I want to just tell you this. If on PayPal somebody writes in and says, I didn't get my item, and she supplies that tracking number, because I also do business on PayPal, she gives that tracking number, they will look into that tracking number to see if the person got that item. If they say, it was the wrong item, then they would get their money back. So just to throw that out there. And also Tiger Lily, just to let you know, I don't know if she's still here. When you go to these reports, it's not necessarily meaning you're going to get your money back or you're making your report to get your money back. You would have to do your bank, your local, in that order. When you go to the FBI website for forms and you go to the local police department form, sheriff's department, it is a report. Hi Angie, when see, I get distracted, squirrel. When the FBI sees enough reports coming in, they will pick up on it. So that's our hope, that
Yeah,
they
my
pick up
PayPal
on
was
it.
about 6 years ago when that happened, but it showed on confirmation it was delivered, and they said that it wasn't at their house. I don't know. They ended up refunding. I think it was only about like $25 or $26, so I just let it go.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what,
I just chalk it up that people are crappy sometimes. But I did want to mention that about PayPal because I know it is kind of fairly easy to work
Mm-hmm.
with them to get your refunds, and it's terrible because some people in the chat that I've seen, it's hundreds of dollars. Mine was under $30. No, it's not a lot of money, but it's the principle that you stole from me, and I bust my behind.
That's a tank of gas, honey.
It's the principle. So
Yeah,
y'all
it
have a
is a
good night. I'm gonna
principle.
hop off. I'm
We'll
about to go
see.
get in the tub and do a scrub a dub dub.
I hear
Good
that.
night. Good to see you,
Have a good
ladies.
good
night.
night,
Good night,
Tina.
Tina.
Good night,
So I
Tina.
do want to also address the fact that Horry County PD was also contacted because that is where the money should have gone to. So we were trying to see if we could file there. And Horry County said, Angie, ugh.
Oh no! Anyway, okay. The rebels! Woo! Last 15 seconds. Anyway, sorry. Totally distracted everybody. Sorry.
That's okay. Squirrel. Anyways, we did contact Horry County, and Horry County said that they would not take the case, that they referred it to the FBI. So I personally spoke to them, and my contact in the Horry County Police Department, and was told those things. So anyone who is saying that Horry County is taking on any part of this is sadly mistaken. Please record that. I personally spoke with
that snowball with the lips.
I did it on purpose to make Angie laugh.
I wish my lips. I want my lips to be that big.
This is Angie's favorite.
Not anymore.
But anyway, I personally spoke with my contact at Horry County PD, and she's not a low-level cop. She's not a street cop. She doesn't have a beat. And they will not take the case. Period. Point blank, because it happened over the internet. There's money involved, and there's multiple states.
Can I say a happy thing?
Of course.
2 weeks to the wedding.
Yay!
Okay, I'm done.
All right, hang on. Let me land on this building.
Oh, and I love you, Angie.
I love you too.
She's
Okay,
like,
sorry,
hang on, let me land on this building. Like she's playing video games and on a live at the same time. Like
You multitasking.
I literally am.
I envy you.
It's me and my brother. Hey, so a couple of things are the specific reasons I got up, and then I'm going to probably call my brother because we're playing GTA. First of all, I bought raffle tickets in the very first one. Very first, that super chaotic one where no one knew what was happening. I used them on a listing, but I didn't win anything. So I don't know did I get scammed? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what to do with that.
You were supposed to send refunds back to people for tickets that had not been, if you used them to bid on something but didn't win, that ticket was sent as a donation. If you had not bid with those tickets, then that money was supposed to be sent back to you.
Essentially, yes, because the money did not go where it was intended.
Exactly. Beautiful. Okay, good. So the second thing is I live in Arizona. I was on vacation in New York City when I made those purchases. Does that get the NYPD involved at all?
I would think it was wherever you bank at. I mean, where's your bank at? Or your
The
home
bank.
address. Yeah, I would think it
Jessica,
would be
that's what
your
I was
local.
thinking. I would think because the if you used your debit card or whatnot, it would be your bank like your bank is located, which probably Arizona, right?
Well,
So
it's a nationwide bank though.
Well, there you go.
I think it's your well, yeah. I think it's your local authorities is what they told Marie.
Okay.
And then Marie called somebody. I think she called her county, and because she lives in city limits or something, they told her she had to call the city limits. So, I mean, everybody's kind of like, as far as local authorities, are kind of pushing it off to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. And Kim even told us that they would do this because they look at it as a civil matter. I mean, even if it's only like $20 or $5 or whatever, I know it looks stupid going in, and filing a report on it, but, in the larger scheme of things, it makes a difference. But I think ultimately where we will get somewhere will be with the FBI.
Okay.
And I also want to address that too, because I didn't say that. So for anybody that is filling out IC3 complaints, just make sure you put Sue Nelson's name on there and affiliate it back to that, because I'm in the process of being in contact directly with someone from the FBI. And so I want to be able to tell them what they need to, the reports that they need to pull, so that they can look at the information as a whole and not just my individual report. They need to look at the big picture. So just make sure that you do that. You're very welcome, Elizabeth. Sorry I didn't see your comment sooner.
Right, because as far as, as any of us, we have not heard anything back from the FBI yet. So, like Marie said, she's going to try to get in touch with somebody local at one of the local FBI offices to tell them the bigger picture. Because basically, it only, when you put the complaint in, it's only showing the amount you sent. Mm-hmm. So,
and actually, it's not my local FBI office.
Oh, okay.
It's actually going to be an FBI investigator that's involved in Micah's case.
Okay, good.
Can I say, like, I want to, before I hopped in the comments, there was a lady, she was talking about y'all were talking about like background stuff or whatnot, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna be straight up honest. Cassie, I can DM you and really go into depth, but years ago, I got on whitepages.com because due to my ex-husband, whatever, and his whatever new life now. But then I found Truth Finder because I was suspicious about one person, and I said I had a gut feeling something wasn't right. So I got on Truth Finder. Yes, I paid the little fee that you pay. It was like $20 some odd. Let me tell you, it pulled everything up. I'm talking about addresses, phone numbers, criminal background, and I was like, oh. I was like, uh-huh. So I cut all ties with that person because I seen what I seen with my own eyes. And I saved it because I was like, hey, no. So yes, there is websites you can get on and you can pull so much, even just Googling somebody's name. Yeah, you can Google, but if you want to go more in depth, get on those websites, pay the little amount, and cancel your subscription after you done pulled the report, because you can download it as a PDF file, save it to your laptop, and you got the proof. So you can find, somebody was saying, is that her real name in the comments or whatnot? So yeah, it's just the click of the keyboard on the laptop or your computer. You can find out anything on anybody.
And what was the name of the form again?
IC3.gov.
IC3.gov. Okay, thanks.
Jessica, check your messages from Jackie.
Okay.
We tried to ask her for, we tried to contact her family, but she wouldn't allow us that.
She also lied about going to her parents to ask for money to send to the family. But the lie detector determined that was a lie.
Yeah.
The daddy.
And I will not feel like a bad person for saying exactly what the fuck has happened. Because we are fucking traumatized. And I have every right to say whatever the fuck I want to say about it.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. If I could kiss you right now, I would.
Kiss me right in the mouth.
I will. Angie, what is that face for? She's like, ew.
No, not you. I forgot I was on camera. I thought it was sweet. I'm just also trying to like deliver some. Look, I'm trying to deliver some rugs in this game. So
Don't
I'm
get
like
caught,
trying to focus,
girl.
but also listening to you guys.
Don't get caught.
I know, right? And it's not even mine; it's my brother's. Like I'm delivering his stuff. So
We were also advised not to contact her family because we don't want to be charged with harassment or anything like that. We also have to be very careful about how often we contact her and all of that kind of stuff. You know, we don't want. We had thought about it, but ultimately, we just have to let the authorities do what they need to do. And we know that her parents live in the area. She has a sister, and we just have to trust that they will be there when needed and if needed. We're doing the right thing, and we're trying to do the right thing, and we don't want to take it too far that we get ourselves into trouble. We need to stay clear of that, if that makes sense.
Bethany, thank you. Like, I was gonna ask you guys if you guys still have contact with her. Like, do y'all still communicate with her, or if all like communication ties are cut? Like, y'all are done with her. You know, communicating directly with her. But that answered my question because I was curious.
Yeah, we were in contact with her obviously up until yesterday. Because she did come on Casey's live. We asked her to do that, and she agreed to it.
She was not made to. She was not
made
persuaded.
to. We asked. She said yes. And that's
We
what
even have
happened.
that on recording too.
Yeah, well, honey, if I was at home, if I was here, I would have been, but I was at the football game with my little cheerleader, okay? So, but anyway, I didn't get on, but anyway, but did she did she openly talk about anything on the live last night? I'm so far behind, y'all.
She was beating around the bush of it. She did not come 100% clean. No.
Okay. All right. That's all.
What we're saying tonight is a lot of there's still more information that we are giving today but we wanted to give her the opportunity to say what she wanted to say, and I think most people could read between the lines.
Yeah, exactly. Just I was reading between the lines with her mess. Let me shut up.
I love when you specifically asked the question that I was asking, and she answered the first part and totally ignored the second. I was like, "Cool, got it."
And if you knew she was a scammer long before we did and you didn't say anything, fuck you.
That's what. That's how I reckon. That's how they roll. I've had my wallet stolen with my credit cards, my driver's license, my social security, my tribal affiliation card with my tribe, because I'm Native American or American Indian, never how you want to say it. But I had to go to the social security office, put a flag on all the credit bureaus out yonder, and get a new social security card, get driver's license, do this, do that. And this happened back in like 2005, but I get it. It's because I was scared, that somebody was gonna get my stuff. But what this lady done, there's no words for it. There's no. I'm trying to be nice, because I understood this caused a lot of drama with this situation, and it's not fair to you guys. It's not fair to Cassie. I mean, everybody that all y'all that were like apart with her, it's not right.
No, but we are getting crucified for it.
But you know what? You know the truth. When you know the truth, you stand your ground, and if nobody else wants to believe it, then let them be. Then that's when you just turn your head and keep right on moving.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah, and Cassie, hey, like, I hadn't seen your behind on here, but keep doing you, boo-boo. Like, don't. Like, y'all all, like, don't worry about it. Them. Why? Why worry about what other people think about you? Because they don't pay your bills. They don't love you. They don't provide nothing for you. If they can't provide a little friendship or just a acquaintance on here on Tiki Talkie, then okay, bye. I don't need you.
Over yonder is over yonder, y'all.
Yonder is over yonder. Okay.
We know where over yonder is.
Oh, and they don't know me talking. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, I'm down here in southeastern North Carolina. I'm country. But yonder is over yonder. But, I've had to learn the hard way about that. About letting, when people wants to talk negative about you, and they want to just put your name through the dirt. My name has been drugged through the dirt, the mud, the gravel, the cement, and you know what? I said, I'm done. Because I got to live my life and be happy. Mm-hmm. We don't know what the next day brings. We don't know what the next day holds. I'm thankful just to keep living.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Put a smile on your face, all y'all, and let the haters that are coming after y'all, let them be.
I know we would be crying and upset and angry, and then we'd start joking, and we're like, but we had to keep our humor and laugh about certain things, because otherwise you could just go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, you guys want to hear something funny that doesn't have to do with this, but it has to do with TikTok?
Yeah.
Because I think both my brother and Beck are in here. So I was having a live, I don't know if it was like last week or something, I think, and my brother and I were just chatting or whatever. Beck comes in, and all of a sudden my brother's mic went out, and then he came back in, and all of a sudden we could hear somebody else's live, and it was like, this is weird. So I pulled it up on my other phone. We were I was streaming somebody else's live, and she was selling like toffee and stuff, and it was so funny, and we were just totally joking, and we were like, oh yeah, what are you guys selling? Okay, it's vanilla, but vanilla what? And it was just the funniest thing. And so then we shared my live with her so she could see, and then they were like, what is happening? I'm on another live, and it was just so funny. We were laughing so hard, and it was hilarious. So yeah, we couldn't see it. We could only hear it. And I had to go find it. I had to search for it and stuff. And so then Beck goes over there and is like, hey guys, we're watching you accidentally on this other live somehow, and it was so funny. And so now we're friends. So
I wonder why it did that.
I don't know. It was so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. So that was a funny thing that happened, but I thought you guys might laugh a little bit at.
I was trying to comment on to reply to a comment, y'all. I can't multitask. Hold on, because I be misspelling stuff. Because I can't see up close. I need to put my readers on. All right, hold on.
It was awesome, Beck. It was so funny. And then Jenny from my freckle journey popped in, and she's like, "What is even happening?" And then she just left. She's like, "I can't. I don't blame you."
Bye-bye.
Oh.
All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna get off here. It's late. Oh, have a good night, Tiger Lily.
Well, I'm going to say this. All right, much love to you guys. Country Licious is out. Mwah! I love you guys. Keep your head up, y'all.
Love you all.
Thank you,
Keep your head up.
Have a good
Love
night.
you
All you guys, just keep your head up and keep going forward.
That's right.
Don't go backwards. God bless you all. Have a good rest of your weekend, and then have a good week. All right, if I don't see you during the week.
All right. Good night.
All right. Thank you, Cassie, for letting me in the box. I appreciate it. All right. Much love, you guys.